Arrakis has spice in the sand, but the lands in the Baron's tyrannical hands. The planet is squeezed by Rabban the Beast. Inhabitants dream that Arrakis be freed. Emperor Shaddam gives the fief to Atreides. Planet Caladan of Leto and his lady. Paul has been trained in the sisterhood's ways to master his body and harness his brain. Gaius Mahayan puts Paul to the test. If he is an animal, be put to death. Only a conscious mind can be allowed to survive, so conquer your fear or die. The witches have a plan for the Kwisatz Haderach. They will breed a man whose prescience, transcendent memories, and omnipresence will see the expanse. Jessica's son, is he the one Bene Gesserits want? What does it mean to see in his visions and dreams? What does it mean to be Lisan al-Gaib? Is a messiah what the empire requires? Or will the hero's dream make the people bleed?
Wow, what a great beat. Sick bars. Yeah, that shit was fire. Who else agrees? Sound off in the comments. He took that from some YouTuber. Shout out to the shitty YouTuber who made that fucking piece of shit. Anyway, Dune 2. Get ready. We're starting in media res again for some reason. I don't know why, but we're just going for it. But first, let's hear a little intro from friend of the pod, past and future guest, Mary Jane Walken.
The spice, it must flow.
Yeah,
weird noises.
When did? I mean, let's yeah. Sorry, I don't have any notes really.
I don't either.
It doesn't matter.
I had more notes for the first one than the second one, but yeah. I think I'm gonna get you guys to help me figure out what happened in the second one.
Yeah, well, great. So you've actually read the books, right?
Yeah, I've read the first one and Messiah, which Alex, you've read Children of Dune?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I stopped after Children.
Okay.
Right.
Nice. That's
Yeah.
Me? Can't read. Can't read.
Well, look at this thing's and half of it's about just worms and sand, really. This middle section.
I actually don't know what book that is because I'm not kidding. I cannot read. These are just big. I don't know. They're just shapes.
Yeah.
And then these are smaller shapes. I really don't know.
There's just a bunch of different shapes on the...
I can see the picture. I get it. And it looks like Timothée Chalamet.
Yeah.
Kind of, unfortunately. Yeah. Let's
read a passage.
Quote from the... Oh, here we go. Thade Routha betrayed anger by a flaring of nostrils. The name of Howat had been a danger signal in the Harkonnen family for so many years. And now it had a new meaning, still dangerous. Come on, it is sloppy. It is sloppy writing.
Powerful stuff.
You don't really...
And then, this is in Thade Routha's voice, so of course we'll do the impression. Hey, baby, how is a dangerous toy? Right?
Well,
wasn't that weird that he did the Elvis voice? For
he kind of slipped in and out of it.
Anyway, whatever. I do have a Thade Routha Elvis impression. Do you want to hear it?
Yeah.
Okay. Shh, hang on.
And we're shut up.
Hang on. Hey, baby. He's like, Thade Routha, right? Okay, but here you go. But hang on. Okay. Hey, hang on. 1 for the money, 2 for the show, 3 for Arrakis, where the spice must flow. Thank you. Thank you.
That was very good.
That's really good.
That's from a song I'm writing, Dune Suede Shoes.
I like it.
Dune Suede Shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you met with the Herbert family to license the IP for them?
Brian Herbert, you were right about him. Brian?
I think it's in the public domain now.
Yeah.
Dune?
I'm no legal expert,
it's
but
not.
I'm pretty sure it's in the public domain.
Certainly.
Because Frank would have been 150 years old if he was alive
today. Is his kid's name Brian?
Yeah.
I think so.
Brian Herbert.
You were totally right. He is such a pushover. He's a drip. Yeah, he sucks.
Nice.
Yeah. I went up to him and was like...
Wait, you met him?
Yeah, I met him. I called him because I wanted to license the song,
IP,
right?
Yeah.
And he was like, okay. He's such a loser. He was just and there was a whole lineup of people outside of his house just asking him for Dune things, and he was just like, yeah, okay. He's just signing off on all this shit. Come on, have some respect for your father's legacy, you know?
Yeah.
No, he's pissed all over it.
What's Tolkien? Is it Chris Tolkien? Is this?
Chris Tolkien, right? Yeah.
All these kids.
These fail sons. These wet
awful.
wet noodle.
The
fantasy
Goro
author
Cronenbergs,
nepo babies.
Yeah. I can do daddy's work. I can do it too.
Yeah.
Daddy love me.
Yeah. Are you proud, Daddy?
Yeah.
Are you proud?
The idea that just because you're their child means that you can carry on that literary legacy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really funny going to like the Dune Wikipedia page and just reading like, you know, the first 6 books were written by Frank Herbert in the 60s, and then the next 18 were written by Brian Herbert, his son.
18, yeah.
It's like, oh my God.
I saw someone talking about it, saying, like, someone was asking, how bad are they? And someone said they're kind of like at the level of like a bad Star Wars extended universe novel. Like not even a good one of those. Right?
Yeah.
Because I know people really like those.
I did a grade 7 book report on a novelization of The Phantom Menace. I don't know if I mentioned that on the
Oh my
pod.
God.
No, I didn't know that.
Is it better as novel than it is a film?
Probably not. No. I think there was one extra scene with Darth Maul, which is kind of cool. Maybe I'm misremembering, but
Right.
Maybe it's one of the scenes they cut out, because there's a couple of scenes. There's a couple of scenes where he like talks.
there's more Maul.
Yeah,
Nice.
because I think Peter Serafinowicz, the like British like actor and comedian, like does the voice of him,
Oh,
but they cut out most of his lines.
interesting.
He has no lines in the film, right?
He has a couple.
He has a couple, yeah, but he doesn't really
They're
have
like 2-word lines.
Yeah.
on
yeah,
those.
like
I don't remember
Yes,
any.
Master,
Yeah.
whatever else. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't
Another
know.
pushover son.
Yeah.
Sith
Well,
pushover.
Now that I've seen Dune, I'd seen the 84 version, but then watching it again, watching Dune Part 1 again, and then seeing Dune Part 2 now, I'm like, it's crazy how much of Star Wars, especially the first Star
Yeah.
Wars, was just like,
100%.
sand planet,
Yeah.
like old society, futuristic society, but with like, like religions and like,
Right.
saber battles, and
Yeah.
whatever. I don't know.
It's
Just
a pretty healthy conflation of Dune
Empire.
and Hidden
Yeah.
Fortress.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
pretty much just that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I love that George Lucas was watching Hidden Fortress, and he's like, "Oh, those 2 funny Japanese guys. What if they were robots?" I mean, that's what he does with everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really does.
Yeah.
Like Dune feels like if George Lucas read Dune and it was just like, it's just like a dumb guy's interpretation of Dune. Just like really, as much as I love Star Wars, but it's just
Yeah.
like you see the parallels and it's just like, oh, this is just such like a outline of what this book is doing and saying and
Yeah.
stuff, and like taking
Hyper-simplified.
it takes so much beats. Like they're all family, like
Yeah.
the main characters. I guess that it isn't from the original trilogy, but like the main characters turn to the dark side, kind of thing.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But yeah, we'll get. I guess we'll get more into the Dune stuff.
Well,
later.
somebody asked about like I mean, it was a coworker was asking about the second Dune, because they had heard some things on TikTok about it.
Yeah.
And they were like,
how epic it is.
yeah, but how epic it, yeah, well, pretty much. They were like, I heard it's kind of like an Anakin like situation. I was like, interesting. Anakin is like a Paul Atreides situation.
I
Yeah,
hate
yeah.
saying-
Not that I've read the book. I mean, I'm just as much of
Did you say that to your coworker?
Oh, yeah.
In there, yeah.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
There was
And-
that
yeah.
moment where Paul
I got
said,
fired. they asked me to leave.
Paul turns to Chani and says, I hate sand. It's coarse and rough and it gets everywhere.
Yeah.
Very
shit.
interesting choice.
Yeah. Okay, so let's introduce. Okay, so there's Ben and Alex, the classic franchisees.
The ones you know and love.
Twosome.
The
yeah.
franchisees.
But we also have another Alex here.
Yes, for the second time in
Yes.
the pod's history.
Yeah.
Yes,
New
two
Alex
Alexes. Now, in
has
that
emerged.
time, we called him like Alex Prime or
Prime?
Alex whatever. I don't
Yeah.
know. This time, I think we should bestow upon you a special name,
Hell
A
yeah.
Fremen name.
a Fremen
Ooh.
name,
I think
which.
I've got it.
Oh, okay.
Lex.
Great.
Alex.
Alex.
Lex. That's gonna be hard to I was just.
I like it.
Yeah, I like that too. Because we could just. I was gonna say he's Alex Muad'Dib Usul, but I mean that's just for the movie.
A apostrophe. Lex.
Lex.
Alex.
Yeah.
There has to be a
the
good
the Nissan El Gaib.
Yeah.
Nissan El
like a
Gaib.
car. I saw that joke today
On Twitter, yeah.
Yeah.
Of a-
Somebody else made it,
Yeah.
but we'll just edit that out so it sounds like we made it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Lisa
perfect.
and Gabe.
Yeah.
Sounds like two people. Lisa and Gabe.
Two people. Yeah.
Lovely couple.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, it's great.
Alternatively, Lisa or Gabe could be my name too.
We'll just call you Gabe.
Yeah.
Which is short for Lisa.
You like that, right, Gabe?
Yeah. You like Gabe. Yeah. Yeah. The Lisa Al Gaib, the Muad'Dib, Usul. Oh, it's all short for Gabe.
Gabe.
Yeah.
Which is short for Gabriel.
Yeah.
Okay, so Gabriel's here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
You're also a member of Westelaken.
Yeah, this is the third Westelaken member.
Yep.
Welcome to Westelaken Cast.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Westelaken Cast.
Today, we're going to find out the truth behind those mushrooms Jordan was steaming.
Ooh.
Yeah, wow.
That's a secret of sauce. I can't tell you. It's a family recipe.
You're not going to tell us the recipe?
No.
Oh,
of the steamed mushroom recipe? No, I can't. No. I'm
what
sorry.
about the
I'm
golden?
So sorry.
What about how do you make those? How do you make those golden days so hard? So hard. Because everyone's
everyone's craving these golden days.
Everybody knows how to make soft boiled golden days, but people have a really hard time getting a good hard boiled golden day. We promised Jordan Sekareccia. I said I would say his name in full.
No. We have to erase your Jordan this
I
episode.
promised him we would say it at least 5 times.
Okay. Okay, so there's one.
Jordan Sekareccia. That's two.
There's two.
Jordan, of course, is in the band. Has been on the show.
Yeah.
Rob is in the
great
band.
guest,
Has been on the show.
Yeah.
Jordan's been on 3 or 4 times, right?
Yeah.
But Rob was on twice because of the two
Jurassic
Worlds. You
had to see it through.
Yeah.
He was such a fan.
You'll come back. I
I
promise.
will, yeah. Well,
But we got to get Lucas.
Yes,
and then
yeah.
it will be complete. And then all of the collaborators. Yeah.
all the collaborators.
The
Everybody-
manager.
The people who don't live in Toronto anymore, ship them out, pay
Yeah.
for their Air Canada flights,
Yeah.
get them down here.
Yeah. Exactly. Everybody. Yeah. It's going to be great. All at once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited for this pod to slowly turn into a Westelaken pod. You know,
Yeah.
like
Not slow.
It's
like
happening. Yeah.
5 episodes in the future, it's just going to be like all 4 of us, and you guys are just gone.
Yeah. Well,
Completely.
I mean, maybe Jordan. That's Jordan Sekareccia 3 times. Maybe Jordan didn't really find much to like about the Denis Villeneuve Dune movies.
Yeah.
However, it's also possible that I Am Steaming Mushrooms lines up with Dune if you start it like Wizard of Oz, Pink Floyd style.
Yeah.
It may just be a coincidence, right?
Yeah.
It may just be something that was kind of rattling around everyone's brains, and you just kind of or alternatively, I think pretty much any music would line up to like a clip reel of these shots because, and this isn't necessarily a bad thing, but they are kind of like. They are like easily shareable in like a YouTube video format or like video essay format or like Instagram reel format. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. There's been a lot of talk about whether these movies are any good, and like I think they're fine. I like the new one.
Yeah.
Do you like it?
I liked it a bunch. Yeah.
Okay, nice.
I was a bit underwhelmed. And I saw it in IMAX at a 10 p.m. screening.
Oh, it's too late.
Yeah, so by the time I got out, it was 1:30.
Too late. It's way too late.
So there were moments where I was like,
Falling asleep.
no, but I was like, oh my god, like they still haven't even got to like this point yet or something.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff like in the desert.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which I feel
Yeah.
like maybe I would have appreciated more if I was in a different like headspace.
Right.
I wanted it to be like super duper epic and mind blowing. I think it suffered a bit from being a bit overhyped.
Sure. I try to avoid as much. I don't know if there's like a good way to approach movies, but just avoid as much outside input.
That's a great way to do it.
Yeah. Before I see a movie, I don't want like my opinion to be painted either way, good or bad. Like
That is something we talked about a little bit on the Dune Part 1 episode, like when it comes to movie reviews and so on.
Yeah. But for this, it was like so unavoidable, like especially on Twitter. I mean, Twitter's like dog shit now. Like you just like see
crazy.
the exact same thing over and over again. And then just like add in like the hype for Dune 2. It's just like people calling it like the best film of all time. It was like so hard to avoid. But for the most part, I kind of steered clear about a lot of the hype.
Yeah. Everybody making the same jokes, like about fucking the popcorn bucket. They didn't. They weren't even selling it.
I would have bought one.
I would have bought.
I was planning on buying
might have
one and having it in the middle of the table when we
Right.
started today. I thought it'd been a funny
I also saw it in
Psych
IMAX,
gag.
but it was the Limax, the one at IMAX. Sorry, the one at
IMAX at IMAX.
the one at the Yonge and Dundas Square. So
Yeah.
the aspect ratio doesn't even change.
No.
It's just a big screen.
Yeah.
and it's called IMAX. Like,
Yeah,
whatever.
you look at the seat map and
Yeah.
it looks nothing like a
No.
IMAX theater. It's
No,
just like
not at
it's
all.
like a VIP sized
Yeah.
theater. It looks
But
small.
it was to maintain consistency because that's where I saw the first Dune Part 1.
right.
Yeah,
Right.
maybe even the same seat. It's hard to say, but they weren't selling popcorn buckets. There was a huge line; like it was very busy. Everyone was packed. Like everyone was excited.
Yeah.
But they were selling a lot of Bob Marley "One Love" T-shirts.
Oh,
They
cool.
were plenty of those for sale.
How many did you grab?
There was a guy just like throwing them out like T-shirt cannon.
Really?
Like, we got to get through these. Yeah, nobody bought it.
No one's. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have all this merch and
So
swag.
this is
we
when
gotta-
Ben unbuttons his shirt and reveals that he's wearing one.
Okay, here we go.
Are you?
Here we go. Look at
that beautiful shirt.
Look at these boobies.
I don't remember Bob Marley being so hairy.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, that's because you didn't see Bob Marley "One Love."
Did you
There's
guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
we saw it just
We were
now.
just at it,
We just
yeah.
came from it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. One
Yeah.
love, man. Peace and love.
Peace. Yeah,
Peace and
yeah.
love.
He was the one who said he was in his favorite song, "Imagine." He says,
Yeah.
"Imagine,
Yeah.
imagine, weed is legal,
Hmm.
right? It's easy if you try.
Mhm.
I like to smoke weed. I'm a weed smoking guy." That was his famous song.
Yeah, really. They
Yeah.
really handled it well in the film too.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
very touching.
Yeah,
powerful
I had
moment.
to quit weed, right? Like because it was,
Ooh.
but
This could have
because
been a triggering film
well,
for
but
you.
no, because we saw Bob Marley, I decided
to
I'm
take
not,
up reggae music.
I'm not going to do weed. Yeah,
Do raga.
I'll do a little bit of heroin.
Okay.
Because there was a
Whoa.
part where someone's like, "Bob Marley, you should try heroin," and he says, "No, man, I love weed." Yeah, and he smokes weed, and that's how. And then in his mind, he comes up with his famous song, "Imagine." Yeah,
Super
Yeah.
cool.
it's a cool movie.
It's a
yeah.
really cool movie. Yeah.
Really cool movie.
How
Yeah.
many Iron Lions in Zion would you give it out of 5?
Oof, I don't know. There is a weird part where he talks about being a Zionist. It's very strange. I know it
Yeah.
means something different for him, but it just
Yeah.
like felt
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah, and the fact that they like devoted a big chunk of the movie to it, and a lot of it felt like it was like pre-shot, like they've kind of wrapped filming, and then they kind of like added. It was like a
Yeah.
reshoot scenes and stuff
yeah,
like that. You could
it was
tell.
weird. It's actually a
Yeah.
different actor too.
Yeah.
It was very strange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But 5
It
out
was
of 5.
Matis Yahoo.
Yeah, it was, yeah, of course it was Madison. I don't know why, but like I did listen to him when I was like a teenager for some
Maybe why
reason.
he's like a big. He was
I guess.
a big guy, right?
I guess so. Yeah.
You know-
I guess so.
Yeah.
It's bad. It's just bad.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
no, we didn't go see One Love.
Oh, you pulled one over on me.
Yeah,
you
you
sons
yanked-
of bitches.
you yanked your chain, yeah.
No.
You,
It's
I
not
just
even-
met you.
Yeah. Sorry, Alex.
Get out of my house.
Okay, I'll go.
Well, that's the pod. Yeah. Well, okay. We will be talking about Dune. Let's also talk very quickly, as we like to do, about,
As is tradition.
as is tradition, any other movies we may have watched in between recordings.
Pull up the letterboxes.
I got some really good. Okay, so fuck. I'll go first real quick, okay?
Yeah, go.
You want to talk about because there's been a lot of Denis Villeneuve talk, obviously. There's been a lot of interviews. One of the interviews he was talking about. I should have reread it for this, but it was something along the lines of like, he's interested in a cinema of images, right? And the dialogue is like secondary for him. And watching Dune 2, you can tell, I think, a little bit. But he was talking about how, the difference between TV and film, and how like film for him is these like, grand spectacle images, and like focusing on dialogue and this and that and plot and so on. It's like more of a TV thing. And I don't know, whatever. I don't really remember. But it was just funny him talking about memorable images. Like, I think there's some memorable images in this movie.
For
But
sure.
I also I watched some. I'm going through that 1,000 greatest movies list, right? It's
Yeah.
not fair to our Quebecois friend, but
He could not amount.
Come on, come on, yeah, come on. You want to talk about memorable images? Okay, Akira Kurosawa's dreams, not his literal dreams, but the ones that were good enough for him to put in a movie called Dreams. which I saw with Catherine at the Paradise. And I don't know. It's because it was like, it's a day after the movie I watched right after the first, revisiting the first Dune. And also, I think that interview had like just come out. So I was just thinking like, this is what a memorable image is. Do you know what I mean? It's so unfair. I know,
like,
it's so unfair.
Fucking dick.
No, okay. I know. Listen. It's super unfair.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna say it anyway.
Okay.
And what are you gonna do about it? What are you gonna do about it, huh?
Fight.
Yeah, we could fight if you wanted.
I don't want to fight. I don't want.
Add another visual component to this podcast.
Yeah. Do you know
Fight.
what Bob Marley wouldn't fight? He would
warn you with peace and love.
He would say, one love, sometimes two loves.
Yeah.
3 loves maximum.
Yeah.
No more than 3 loves, he would say. That's one of his famous songs.
I remember that one.
Three little loves. Yeah.
Off of,
3 little loves.
Yeah.
That greatest hits compilation, Exodus.
Yeah. He would also said, "Hey Jude."
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of his famous. Anyway, okay, I know it's super unfair, but just like hear me out, okay?
Yeah.
Just hear me out. These are the things that I watched in between Dune and Part 1 and Dune Part 2 that make both that are like super unfair to both movies.
Sure.
I had a really good run, and it's just like it's not fair, and that's the framing I'm taking here. I'm not just like throwing it out there like, ew, his movie's not as good as one of the best movies ever made, like, or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm saying it's unfair. Okay.
Yeah.
The Long Day Closes, the Terrence Davies movie. The Crowd, the King Vidor silent classic. Louis Buñuel's The Los Olvidados. Trouble Every Day, the Claire Denis movie. Those are like 5-star like classics. Like and watching them this week, I was like, I don't know. It was just like, it's just overwhelming. It's almost like I mean, it's like I shouldn't be doing it. Almost, it's like, oh, I have to stop watching good movies. So like tonight, I'm gonna watch some real junk, just to help my brain
equal
relax,
everything out.
But because they're just incredible, and they stay with you in a way that I don't find. Movies like, for example, the Dune movies, like, really stay with you. And this is totally unfair and also maybe a little pretentious too. It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. You don't have to say it. You don't have to say it. I know it is.
Yeah.
I know it is. But also, I couldn't just lie to you. I couldn't come on here and just say, oh, I watched a bunch of dumb shit, because I had a really good run, baby. All right?
Yeah.
The spice must flow, Alex. And it was flowing. It was flowing. And I don't know. Out of all of those, you should watch all these movies. Like, The Long Day Closes is incredible. I went to visit my parents. I tricked them into watching it. And I convinced them to watch it. And I made a whole big thing of it. I was like, oh, it's like this British Blu-ray. I had to or DVD. Like, I had to bring this special player up, and I brought it so we could all watch it together. And it's like, it's like they love movies about like when their parents would have been growing up, and so it's kind of like a movie about like the 50s Britain and stuff, and like post-war Britain. And so I really got them like in the mood for it, and we all really enjoyed it. It's like a beautiful movie. They have TCM, so like my mom recorded Auntie Mame for me, which is like a really fun movie that then went on to be a musical, and we watched that. And then like I got up really early to watch this silent movie that was on that list, The Crowd, right? That I think maybe they would have shown us clips of it in Queen's Film as well. There's a couple of like famous shots in it. There's the famous shot of like this guy, like he's like trying to make it in New York, but he can't stand out from the crowd, And he's coming in, he's got his desk job, but it's like a huge shot of thousands of desks, right? Yeah. That they then use in The Apartment, Billy Wilder's The Apartment, and it comes in, right, and it's like an impossible sort of shot, right? But it's like, and there's so many shots like that. It's an absolutely stunning movie. And then like on the GO train, you were telling me like, why do you watch all these movies with your parents? It's like I watch a movie on the way there on the train. I watch lots of movies with them because we like to like just hang out, like chill out, whatever. Yeah. We can talk during them sometimes, it's like whatever. And I watch a movie on the train back, and Yeah, I think you'd really like Los Olvidados. Have you
I
seen
love
many?
Buñuel.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
and I hadn't seen like many of his Mexican movies, and this is like a real like it's from 1950. It's like a very cool melding of like a neo-realist approach, but also with his surreal like dream sequences, and like
Yes.
it's also really rough too. It's like just like a rough movie about like very poor kids on the streets of like Mexico City.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, totally brutal. We went with Nico to see Body Double.
Right.
We had a business ramen dinner with
Yeah, we
Alex
sure
as well.
did,
Yeah,
yeah.
that was good. Well, we didn't really talk about business much, but that's okay. It's good, right?
Too busy slurping down delicious ramen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what business meetings are. Just a freaking vibe.
Yeah, it was
Just
cool.
Slurp noodles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're both very tall, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was good to see
Lots in common.
a fellow Tallman. Yeah,
Yeah.
we related on that. We
cool.
connected instantly.
Yeah. I mean, I knew it was going to happen. I knew it was going to be like, you know, we're
Yeah,
both
electric.
We don't have to look up or
we
down.
can see eye to eye.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So to speak.
Yeah.
So Nico knew you first, and then met Alex. That was your first time meeting.
In the flesh. Yeah.
Yeah.
We had a Zoom
Wow.
meeting before.
Okay.
Yeah.
I only knew Nico from the context of him wanting to be, in charge of social media. He
Yeah.
wanted to be our social media corporal.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah.
Yep.
Amazing.
And now he is. There you go. Yeah.
Now amazing stuff is gonna come out.
I know.
On the
Yeah.
socials.
Content.
Dreams
Yeah.
do come true.
Yeah.
Chase your dreams, kids. You too can run the social media of a
podcast.
floundering film
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah.
Of the th floundering film podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like, floundering, but like a steady listenership of the same people over and over again, and no new listeners.
Yeah.
Which is good, right? Yeah, which is good.
One listener is in this room right now.
There you go. See?
And
There
then
you go.
it's a mistake because then you don't have to listen to the episode.
Yeah, you
right?
lose. Yeah. Oh, you gotta
Yeah.
pull people off the street. you
That's
know?
a good point. Yeah, will you not listen to this? Will you be like, I'm not gonna bother? Yeah.
I mean, I'll like let it run. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
listen to it, but I'll let it run while I'm sleeping or something.
Thank
I appreciate
you,
that.
thank you.
Actually, that's a good note to any listeners. If you don't want to listen to the show, even if you like don't like the show, but
Yeah.
for some reason you've heard about it, if you're a friend of one of us, a well wisher, or I guess maybe more so like a neutral wisher.
Yeah. Even if you're a hater, if you want to do this
Even
as a
if-
hater.
Yeah, if you want to do it as a hater,
enemy.
just to kind of fuck with us.
Yeah.
That it actually would fuck with us, because it would inflate our sense of
Yeah.
self-esteem, which and then when we realize
Oh
what's
my
happening,
God.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, the crash from that would be devastating.
Yeah.
Just let it run, or like you don't even need to let it run, just like pause it and unpause it a bunch of times.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
counts as a download or whatever. Okay, and then lastly, in the interest of not talking about all these movies too much, I watched Trouble Every Day with a friend of the pod, past and future guest Jesse, and we wanted to watch like something kind of messed up, but also on that list. And Trouble Every Day is the Claire Denis movie she made right after Beau Travail.
I've been meaning to watch it.
Yeah, I've been meaning to watch it for a long time, and there was only ever like this kind of shitty DVD rip, and eventually this kind of smaller company, I think that's partnered with Vinegar Syndrome, put out a very nice Blu-ray of it, and I had heard a little bit about it. It's kind of amazing that I was able to like you were sort of saying, like, avoid all of this. Not so much discourse, because the discourse around that movie happened like when I was a child. Like the movie came out in 2001, and the big article that former TIFF lead programmer James Quant wrote in 2004, which is all about the new French extremity, and that's when he uses that as like a derisive like term. Like he's like, why are all these French movies of like the late 90s and early to mid 2000s, like why are they all into shock and violence and sex and gore and all this other stuff? And I actually went back and like read the article after this, and I was like, he's making these movies sound awesome. You know what I mean? He's like, he's making it sound,
really selling it.
Yeah. I was like, oh, I want to see that. Oh, I've never heard about that one.
Yeah.
Like, oh, cool. Trouble Every Day, like I've seen like some of her other movies, kind of like Stars at Noon or some of her other like maybe more recent ones, like the very kind of threadbare approach to like narrative. So much that if you miss one or two things, you're like, I really don't know what's going on. It's not very complicated, but it's just that it gives you very little, like little tiny droplets of the story coming out. which is a kind of style I like, right? But it is like her version of like a horror movie. And the idea that, there's 2 scenes in it of violence, of like specifically of like violence, like sexual violence or maybe sexualized violence or maybe both, that are among the most disturbing things I've ever seen. Like, and I really feel like very desensitized when I watch a lot of horror movies, especially, and I think when people think horror movies, they think about slashers and this and that or whatever.
Yeah.
Like art horror or like elevated horror, which is very popular now. Like this is something that people should see if you're looking for something that's like
will upset you.
Yeah. It's I haven't stopped thinking about it. I haven't stopped listening to the fucking soundtrack. Like,
wow.
It's just such a sticky movie. Like, also literally too. And it's just absolutely like so deeply upsetting in a way I was really not expecting, and I cannot believe that I was able to hear about it and see it on these like IMDb message boards, like disturbing movies, like it's that old, right?
Wow.
And then not really have it spoiled or like whatever, I guess, but there isn't really a way to spoil it because it's like it's just so viscerally upsetting. Anyway, really good movie, and you should all watch it.
What was it called?
It's called Trouble Every Day.
Trouble
I
Every
would
Day.
love to have a screening of unsuspecting people to watch it.
I think it was on the Criterion Channel not too long ago. It might be gone.
Yeah, it would have been on there. But I mean, these were all amazing movies. That one, I think that one is something that maybe our listeners might appreciate.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, really hardcore, hardcore stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's shit you'll remember for like
Yeah,
years.
for your life. Yeah. And if people have seen a lot of new French exterminity stuff, like I think people think of like whatever Gaspar Noé, like Irreversible stuff like that. Like I would say sure there are things that are like kind of on that same level in this movie, more or less. But the thing is that movie is like a provocation, and that movie and you hear Gaspar Noé talk about stuff, and he's like, he's kind of like a little child, like he's kind of like
he's an enfant terrible.
Exactly. Yes, the French have a word for everything, don't they? Yeah, and he makes a film maudit, or maybe that's not actually. Maybe I think Trouble Every Day was what they would call a film maudit, like
Maudit.
Yeah.
Maudib?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Film muad'Dib. Yeah. Dune Part 2 is a real film muad'Dib, as the French say.
Yeah.
That was good. Yeah. And because like people were like, especially coming after Beau Travail, like everyone was like, this is a masterpiece. This is one of the best movies ever made. And then she makes this like just this like totally like raw film. You know what I mean? That it very much, speaking of raw, like Julie Ducournau, like who made Raw and made Titan. You watch those movies and you're like, oh well, okay, like this is the real shit. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. Anyway, really good.
Amazing.
Yeah, everybody should watch it. Vincent Gallo is in it, so trigger warning for Vincent Gallo.
Favorite boy, Vincent Gallo.
Yeah, I mean he's really good. Yeah, fuck, you got it. Sometimes you do have to hand it to Vincent Gallo. Yeah, there's a cum shot in this movie, not real, but there's like a big Vincent Gallo like over the shoulder kind of cum shot as well. Yeah, spoilers. Yeah.
Delicious.
Anyway, yeah.
Did you watch anything, Alex?
Other than the Dune films, like I had to go back and not had to go back, but I watched the David Lynch Dune for the first
nice.
time.
It's pretty wild, eh?
Yeah, I thought I was gonna like it a lot more after like hearing about it. And stuff
like on our show too.
Yeah, like on your show and like
guilty.
Sorry. I do kind of like it.
It's like overall, it's like like what can you say about it has been said? It's like there are a lot. It's ultimately like a flawed film. It's not great to watch at times, but there is a lot more like memorable images from that film that have stuck with me, and I cannot stop thinking about versus the Denis Villeneuve version. But yeah, ultimately good. That was my first David Lynch film I've ever seen.
Oh, no way, really?
Yeah.
Wow, good place to start because it only goes up.
It only goes up, from what I've heard. But yeah, just a fascinating movie. Okay, so yeah, other than that. I watched. Okay, the last two, like going from newest to oldest. I watched Starship Troopers.
Oh, very good.
And May December.
Oh,
the
great.
last two films that I watched.
Great movies.
Starship Troopers is like really fun, just fun, plasticky movie.
Yeah,
scared the shit out of me as a kid.
Yeah,
there's
like
super violent.
It's very violent.
Yeah.
And what is it rated?
An older boy showed it to me.
I think it is rated R.
I was way too young.
I would not be. Yeah.
Well, it's just one of those funny things where it's like some of his movies would brush up against NC-17 or get originally rated NC-17, but only the sex ones.
Yeah.
Like Starship Troopers, I think is much more
RoboCop
damaging too.
was rated X originally.
Yeah. And they had to cut some stuff
violence.
out based on violence. That's true.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Well, there's the
That's
scene where RoboCop has sex with Kurtwood Smith.
Yes, there is. There is that. They cut that out.
You're gonna put it in my ass, RoboCop?
That is what he says. Yeah.
The Tigers are playing tonight.
Isn't that? Yeah, he's so good in that movie.
Kurtwood Smith.
Yeah,
he's a legend.
Because what's his like catchphrase in That 70s Show? It's like it's something about ass kicking, isn't it?
Eric.
Oh, he's like, I'm gonna put my foot up your ass.
Is that it?
I'm pretty sure he says that.
You can't say that on a sitcom.
Maybe you can. Maybe you can't say that. Maybe you can't say that
because it's like
No, I know. Remember his catchphrase. His catchphrase is, "It's the 70s." Yeah.
Show.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And he also, are you smoking marijuana? And then he says, if you kids keep smoking marijuana like this in the basement, in 2024 they're gonna make a Bob Marley One Love movie. Is that what you want? Is that the future you want? Right?
You love weed that much?
Yeah. Anyway.
You're going to be in prison, Hyde.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Very bad man. Very bad man. Yeah. Fuck that guy. Yeah.
Fucking rot.
Yeah. I had to throw out all of my That 70s Show laser discs. Yeah. all my Hyde shirts. Yeah. I had to burn them. Yeah.
That's so sad, but you did the right thing.
Oh, for sure I did. Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Yeah. Now I'm a Bob Marley shirt guy.
Yeah. Amazing. But Starship Troopers is great.
Oh, so good.
So much fun.
Yeah.
It's really funny how Neil Patrick Harris in that film just is in the beginning, then goes away for the entirety of it, and then comes back as a literal Nazi at the end. Is
kind of
so fucking
not evil Nazi scientist. She's afraid. Like he's touching
He's
the
afraid.
Yeah.
He's afraid.
So
like
funny.
the big black long coat. It's so funny.
I gotta rewatch that movie.
It's so. I would love to
great.
see that in a theater, like full of people.
Oh, definitely.
And
I'm
like
doing my part.
Yeah, the effects in it too, like pretty good. Like obviously they're not really like the way the bugs look in like the during the day scenes is pretty like dated, but like the stuff at night, like with the first like invasion or whatever of the bug planet is like
could be real.
Yeah,
it's
me
incredible
for real.
It's
dying and then being brought back in a big vat of Gatorade. With a tube in my mouth.
The effects in all his movies are like great.
Yeah.
Like even Hollow Man, which is like not probably kind of his film muad'Dib, as the French say, which is definitely something we have to do the Hollow Man series on the show.
Yeah, I know, I'd love to.
Hollow Man is
RoboCop
crazy.
as well.
Of course. Yeah, RoboCop 2 is good.
RoboCop has some wonky visuals for sure, though. Some of the Ed 209 effects.
Yeah, but they're charming. Like, I know what you mean, though.
If you did RoboCop, would you talk about the RoboCop Oreo behind the scenes incident?
What's that?
Oh
yeah. Wait, no,
like,
tell me.
I'm gonna put my foot in my mouth.
Were they feeding him Oreos?
Yeah, like there was like some like tech guy like up with him, and he's like, I want an Oreo, and the like costume designer or whatever guy that was up with him was like, no, you're not getting an Oreo, and then he was like making a big fuss about it or something. But like the clip of it, like them explaining it, like the two like parties of it, and then they cut back to the guy who plays RoboCop,
Peter Weller.
He's full of shit, like
he's great, man.
So good. But yeah, if you do that, do it better justice than me.
I don't know. I mean, that was pretty good. We'll just
it's like I was there, man.
We're pretty lazy too. Like we'll just cut. We'll just like take this clip and put it in that episode. Yeah.
Like, oh, Alex is back.
Yeah. Remember when Alex was talking about RoboCop?
Yeah. Hey, what were you saying again?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's that easy. Yeah. All right. Great.
What'd you think of May December?
Maid Sandman was really good. I thought I would connect with it a lot more because I know you guys really liked it. Talked about it on the pod.
Definitely, yeah.
I definitely really liked it. But swear to God, did not notice Julianne Moore's accent until like midway through the movie, the lisp or whatever. Like, is it like consistent throughout, or is it like a thing they did where it, she hams it up towards the end?
There's a dial that she turns. Definitely. Like she
loosening, letting out some gas.
Yeah, it's part of her whole manipulative persona, I think, or her innocent childlike kind of naivete that mask that she puts on. I think there are definitely points where she's doing it more and doing it less.
Yeah. Like this, specifically the scene where they're at the graduation dinner.
Yeah.
Where she goes off to the bathroom and Natalie Portman comes in. That was the scene that I noticed. And she's like, oh, is this a joke she's doing, or trying to stick it to Natalie Portman for something or whatever? But no, really, really good movie. Charles Melton, unbelievable.
Yeah.
Performance in that.
Get that guy in the fridge.
Yeah, get him in the fridge.
I have to say it as quiet. Oh man, one of my friends made a Charles Melton Charles Melton nachos joke.
Yeah.
That blew up.
No.
Yeah.
What, like a tweet or?
Yeah.
Oh,
I know. Partial credit for me, at least.
Yeah. I've stolen that joke at least once on Twitter.
Good. Yeah. Well, no, it's good. That's good to do.
It's a good joke. It is.
No,
it's really good.
No. It's not a good joke. It's just true.
It's not a good joke. It's a great joke.
No, it's not a joke. It's true. If Charles is melting, someone should get him in the fridge. Yeah. So you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just
or
how
pour
it
him
is.
over nachos.
Yeah.
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 Exactly.
Ben's really
it is a better
worried about
construct. The nachos.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. And maybe the marketplace of ideas that is Twitter rewarded that as the better joke. So we don't need to rub it in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it for me, Alex.
Nice.
What have you been up to?
Speaking of, the IMAX experience and giant screens, I saw the giantest screen at the Ontario Science Centre.
Oh.
And I saw one of those little 45-minute nature docs.
Oh, I haven't
or
seen one of those in ages. Yeah, what was it?
And so I saw the way the timing worked out. I went to see A Beautiful Planet, which is a movie about the ISS, the astronauts working up there, narrated by Jennifer Lawrence.
Okay. I mean, yeah, sure. She's got a nice voice.
He was in a space movie, right? Wasn't there
Passengers.
Passengers. Yeah.
I watched part of that on a plane, or maybe I watched it.
Movie.
I watched someone else's screen, enough of it to be oh yeah, this is weird. It's pretty bad. Yeah.
Well, that's why she's narrating the film.
I guess so. Yeah.
She's been to space.
They did film it in space.
Yeah, they shot her up there.
Yeah.
And it's fine. It's whatever. Some of it felt slight, as these always do. It was produced by NASA and very pro-American space exploration or space exploration in general. But they had, some amazing freaking footage of the Earth from outer space and storms from space.
And seeing that in IMAX was
Omnimax.
Omnimax.
Where the whole fucking wall and the ceiling.
It is really big.
It's huge.
You're I think I've been to that theater. Yeah, you're really close to the screen.
You have to look up.
Yeah.
It's
not like a Cineplex IMAX.
It's funny that some of the original IMAX movies, and even up to into the 90s, are. The footage is the big thing, and to see them on the big screen is the whole point. But they release those DVD versions of them that are always at Valley Village. And if you ever watch one, it's it'll be trains, exclamation mark, and it's just footage of trains that you're I bet this probably would have looked really good.
Totally.
Or the trees sing, and it's shots of trees that are very big, but on your screen they're just regular sized trees.
It's the medium that's important.
Yeah.
The idea of a DVD that just has trains exclamation mark
Yeah,
on it. It's
yeah,
really funny.
I know. Yeah, I actually like what. Fuck, this is just so stupid. Like you see them and you're like, I'm not gonna fucking ever watch those. And then eventually I was like, I need to get all of these. Like like Mountain Gorillas, like the IMAX experience, and you're like, this is like pretty bad footage by today's standards.
Yeah.
But I get that they were the first ones to do it. That's nice. Yeah. Anyway.
There was an amazing shot where they showed like cities or countries lit up at night to show like populations, because you can't see humans obviously. But you can see like the lights and the infrastructures
density,
we make. Exactly.
Cool.
And they showed the border between South Korea and North Korea.
Oh,
at night,
yeah,
and how North Korea was just like completely plunged in. It was
More American propaganda, if you ask me.
But it was effective.
There are plenty of lights in North Korea. They just turn them off at night because they're conscious
Sensible
of energy.
people,
Stupid. Makes me so angry.
So whatever, kind of a nothing movie, but amazing in OmniMax with some beautiful footage.
Cool.
I was actually thinking, you brought him up earlier, but I was like, I'd love to see a Gaspar Noé film in OmniMax, like something just
Climax.
super disorienting and upsetting.
I did see Climax in the front row of the theater, so it kind of was like that.
Yeah, and I saw it on edibles, so it was kind of like
Like that too. That's right. Was that with kids too? As a supportive adult figure?
You're taking them to see Climax on edibles?
No. The Science Center.
Yes, it was. I don't just go to the Science Center to watch OmniMax films,
figured.
though. After having been there now, maybe I'll start.
I'll go with you.
Sure.
Yeah. Big screen.
We'll do Spice.
Yeah.
They do like normal movies there too, or they used to.
Yeah. No, they still do sometimes.
Do they?
Yeah. They'll. I'm bad at looking at the schedule, but like they were playing. They play like 2001: A Space Odyssey and shit
That would
like
be
that.
that would make sense.
Fun
Yeah.
to see.
Maybe they will show a reversible or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I just, for the record, I want to take my comment back about normal movies, saying that those documentaries aren't normal movies. They're all movies.
Yeah.
Well said. Yeah.
I mean,
you're right.
films.
Yeah. There you go. There you go.
Those moments where they hit so hard,
Yeah.
especially on that massive screen.
Oh my
So
God,
you're right. I don't want to disparage them.
Yeah.
Still an experience.
Totally.
For sure.
Yeah.
Then I saw The Third Man for the first time.
Oh,
I'd never
cool.
seen it before. I watched it
very
with my
nice.
mom.
Nice.
The 1949 Carol Reed film.
Yeah. Great movie.
Like a classic and a masterpiece for a reason.
Yeah.
And like a great short Orson Welles performance and something that
He's
he
so
didn't
good,
direct.
right?
Yeah, Harry
That,
Lime.
they talk about that as an example of like, oh fuck, I don't remember exactly what he calls it, but like the character that is built up and everyone's talking about him, and like this guy, Harry Lime, like everyone's talking about him. And then when he shows up, like, I don't know, 2/3 into the movie, you're like obviously Orson Welles has amazing presence, right?
But
when he shows up, you're like, holy shit, it's fucking Harry Lime, you know? like the guy you didn't know about before the movie.
But it's him.
And then he just like fucking kills it, right?
Yeah. His speech about like the life under the
cuckoo clocks
Borgias or whatever.
thing?
Yeah. Just great.
Oh, that's awesome.
Really enjoyed that. And then after watching, David Lynch's Dune, there was one night where I was just like looking for a comfort watch, and one of the most comforting movies for me is Mulholland Drive.
Did you watch it again?
I watched it again.
Nice.
I love that movie.
Yeah.
I could watch it.
You're
I
talking
think it
about
might be my favorite film.
The buddy cop movie Mulholland and Drive. It's
Yeah.
the two guys.
They hit the road.
I've been trying to make that joke work for years, and I took the You have to understand the one guy's last name is Mulhall.
Yeah.
And the word and then Drive. It's like his nickname, like Johnny Drive or something.
Oh, it's not his partner or anything. It's not.
It's his partner.
like-
It's his partner. Yeah, Mulhall is one guy and Drive is the other
guy.
But yeah, he's like, it's like it's maybe not his real last name, but it's like his nickname.
Right.
Yeah.
Or the one guy's name is Hall, and he's telling him to mull.
Yeah.
Like
Mull.
Hall, like, mull Hall.
Yeah. No, yeah.
And Drive.
Okay. Yeah. He's telling him to think about something, like mull over something.
Yeah.
And Drive. Yeah. Mull Hall and Drive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck. Coming in here. That's way better. Okay.
So that's the movie I
That's
watched.
the movie.
Mulhall and Drive.
Mulhall and Drive. I like that. That's really good.
And
Okay, maybe that will take off.
Tweet that right now.
Charles Melton nachos. Fuck, God damn it. Sorry. If you're trying to listen to this while you sleep, I'm sorry. I know people like to
we
do
just
that.
told people to turn it on their bedside. And
I'm
now we're
sorry.
yelling.
I'm sorry.
then I've been on this kind of
movie,
Lynch
eh?
kick. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
my favorite movie.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I won't speak about it now because you haven't seen it. And
Oh,
I wouldn't
yeah,
want to spoil
that's true.
anything for you.
Yeah.
But
What else?
It's a masterpiece. I'm still on this Lynch kick, so I
Yeah.
watched that documentary Lynch Oz. That's
Oh,
floating
I've been
around.
meaning to watch that. Yeah, it's okay.
It's
right?
fine. It's like
That guy's done a couple of those kind of like movie behind the scenes. I think he made one about Alien, and
it's
they're okay.
It reminded me of Room 237 a lot.
Yeah,
In that it's
exactly.
just kind of people talking about the connections that they can kind of draw between The Wizard of Oz and the movies of David Lynch.
Yeah, he does like The Wizard of Oz.
And
It's obvious in a lot of his movies,
for sure,
but is it really that interesting?
well, that's the thing. Like some people, have more interesting stories to say about it or analyses of it than others.
Yeah.
Like John Waters is one of the
Yeah.
talking heads, and he just kind of. He's one of the shortest segments, unfortunately, but he just kind of talks about his friendship with Lynch and just their
Yeah.
experience as directors coming up.
Because he loves Wizard of Oz too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was uneven. But yeah, like if you're a Lynch guy,
Yeah.
if you're a member of his unfortunately named fan club, the Lynch Mob,
No, that's not what it's called.
you're like Ben.
No.
You're gonna watch it and you're probably gonna
owned.
get something out of it.
Yeah, I will watch it.
The director Karen Kusama, she kind of went
Yeah.
in depth specifically on Mulholland Drive, but she made this
Okay.
huge faux pas where she was referring to Naomi Watts' character as Betty Wilkes.
Oh,
It's
instead of
Betty Elms.
oh,
Crazy, right?
that's weird.
It's kind of embarrassing.
Why would they keep that in? They would just
Like, why didn't they stop her?
yeah. Well, I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway,
Bad movie.
yeah,
Embarrassing.
0 out of 10. Karen
Yeah.
Kusama, it's over for you.
Yeah. So sorry, Karen Kusama.
But that was it. That's what I watched.
Okay, nice.
And
But not any other Lynch movies, or
I've restarted Twin Peaks.
like like the whole thing.
Yeah, I was like, I'll just go through Twin Peaks again.
Okay.
'Cause you're always going on about it, and I was
Yeah.
just like, it's been a while since I
Nice.
mostly want to
So
watch
good.
Fire Walk with Me again.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's like I can't
You
do
could
it without watching the show.
For sure you can.
I know I can. I don't want to.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I busted out my From Z to A box set,
Very good.
and
Yeah.
I'm working my way through Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
Well, I've only watched the first episode so far, the 90-minute pilot.
That is one of the best
Classic
episodes of
episodes
TV
of
show
television, yeah.
TV show ever. It is one of the best episodes of TV show ever.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it TV's as movies?
Oh yeah.
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 That
That
qualifies.
one, I mean that episode especially
It's 90
because it's
minutes
90
long.
90
minutes.
minutes. Yeah.
And you can watch the version where they had to tack an ending on for the European market to sell it as like a movie. So it literally is TV's as movies.
I haven't seen that one. It comes with the box set.
Yeah,
but
you
I
just
haven't
watch
watched
the
it.
little ending part because
What
that's
is
where
it?
that's where he comes up with like the Red Room
Oh, really?
sequence or the whatever, the Black Lodge or whatever. And they have it and then it's like they find Bob and they shoot him. It's like really weird.
Oh,
you know?
really?
Yeah, it's like totally weird.
Interesting.
And and then later on in like the third episode, he's like, we should really use that Red Room
set.
stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
that
pretty
like that
cool.
footage was really cool. Maybe it
Pretty
could just be a
trippy.
dream sequence, and then there it was. You know,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you should fact check that.
And this way, I can work my way up and finally watch The Return.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I actually when I was editing that, I was really embarrassed. I keep asking people, have you seen Twin Peaks: The Return? I mean, and then they usually say no, so that then when somebody says yes, I'm like, oh, that's awesome. Like, we should talk about it. Then I forget they said yes, and then I keep asking Alex if he's seen it, but he has seen it.
It's true.
Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah. Let me know when you watch when you're ready to watch Twin Peaks: Fire Walk with Me.
Sure.
'Cause I always watch that. I've seen that. I'll watch that movie anytime.
Yeah.
I love that movie so much. It's so that's like, I mean, it's not at all like Trouble Every Day, but it's the cumulative impact of those movies is kind of similar.
Interesting.
No, they're actually. I take that back. We'll just cut all that out. Okay. Yeah. And then by all of that, I mean everything you said about David Lynch. So what movies did you see, Alex?
Let's just cut out the entirety of the episode thus far.
Yeah.
All right.
And
welcome
start
to
fresh.
Westelaken Cast.
Yes.
What
kind of mushrooms was Jordan steaming?
I am spicing sand. No. What do they eat? Remember what is the scene where he's eating the food?
Oh, like the spice mush.
I thought that was really funny, right?
Yeah,
I know.
Like too spicy for you, white boy.
Yeah, I was trying to make that joke. Yeah. She's like too spicy for you.
Yeah.
See, that's the actual line in the movie, which I thought really because there's some lines that feel too like, okay, this is like 2024, and there's a shot too where they look at an iPhone, which I thought was really weird. But that line really sticks out where Paul is eating the Fremen food and one of the Fremen says, "Too spicy for you, white boy," and it's like you think it's because it's hot, but he looks down and there's like actual spice and he's like, "Oh, yeah."
He's like hallucinating.
I really like that shot because Timothy is like. He looks like how I would. Well, he doesn't look. Unfortunately, he and I don't look alike. One day, maybe we will.
He has black hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When he dies, he may be close to. Anyway, he has that look where you're like, oh, like the edible kicked in, like, yeah. I've been eating these chips, and now I'm like, oh no, yeah. Okay, let's talk about Dune Part 2.
Dune 2.
Oh yeah, sorry, and everyone is making the same jokes. So I also thought we would have a Dune 2 joke robot. So it can be like, I like Dune 2 chicks at the same time. I like Dune 2 others as Dune 2 yourself or whatever.
That's a good one.
Yeah. What are other ones? Dune 2.
Dune to yourself, onto you.
Yeah.
It's like something, Dune 2 chicks.
Yeah.
Dune 2 beers.
Yeah. Yeah, I like Dune 2 beers. Yeah. Anyway, and whenever you think of one, just plug it in, just type it into the robot and it will say it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great.
Which is really good delivery too. I've only ever read those jokes on Twitter, but like hearing a robot say it is like, it's really funny. Okay, ages ago, there was the first person to make the Dune to others as you have done to yourself joke, ages ago, right? I saw a viral tweet, like thousands of tweets that was like 2 or 3 days ago. That was just Dune to others is, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Like straight up. And every comment was like, it's already been done. Someone already made it and they made it better. And the account was just like, I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
I
just like someone
know.
that isn't like on Twitter like 12 hours a day.
Someone who's not like me.
Has a normal relationship with social media and just like, I saw Dune 2 and I thought of this funny joke. I'm gonna go share it online.
Yeah.
Aren't I a clever boy?
Yeah.
But you know what? I also saw someone make a Benny Gesserit joke, like Benny and the Jets,
yes.
and people loved it.
Fuck.
And I was like, well,
Originated on the pod.
you didn't even laugh when I said it on the show.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you gave me this look that was like, you know,
Don't just put it on me. I'm pretty sure Aaron didn't laugh either.
Was Aaron here too? Yikes!
I don't remember what episode it was.
I don't remember what I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So much Dune crap you guys have had to talk about in the past.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited to move on from Dune and do a serious franchise.
Yeah, which
we'll
we'll
announce
reveal
that
at
soon.
the end of the pod. It's probably both of them are on the 1,000 best movies list.
I know the
imagine.
first one is,
Okay,
at least. Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense, yeah.
Yeah,
Interesting.
really exciting stuff. We'll get to that at
I'm
the end.
excited
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah, really
As you should be,
exciting.
yeah.
Finally something substantial.
Yes.
So I saw Dune 2 on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you guys see it also recently? Tuesday,
Saw
you
on
said?
Tuesday.
Yeah.
I saw it on Friday.
Nice.
Opening night, baby.
Ooh.
Opening night.
Well, I don't know if you consider if
Sure.
Thursday night is like, that's a thing, right? Like movies will, like that's their first
Thursday,
screening.
sometimes even Wednesday.
Yeah.
Really? Were any of the cast there?
Yeah, they were all the worms. All the worms
Nice.
were there at the
Nice.
front, just like in a ball sleeping.
All the worms and
Yeah.
Leah Seydoux.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
fuck
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, she was
Yeah,
on
you
top
know
of
what I'm
all the
She was
worms.
great.
She was great.
She was great.
She actually was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are few performances and actors in this film that just like so obviously and easily just like steal the show. And,
Okay,
like,
well let's talk about that first.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so Leah, one of them.
Definitely.
Awesome.
Very, very small scene, but
Yeah.
very effective.
Yeah, I think is her character, I can't remember. I read Dune Messiah recently, but I can't remember. Is like her character's in Messiah, right? Like
I imagine.
Yeah.
I don't honestly remember those books. I remember like certain sequences in those
Okay.
books, but
Yeah.
like a lot of the, breeding bloodline legacy stuff gets a bit lost on me and confusing.
Right.
yeah, because Messiah is like more of like a very anxious political thriller.
Yeah, I've heard about that, and people are talking about that into like in relation to how it's actually going to be filmed as like a book. Or sorry, as a movie. Like how is that going to be the third Dune movie when most of it is like conversations?
Yeah, it's
right?
really going to be like a step down, like at least visually and like scale wise from this film, which
I'm kind of excited for that one.
Yeah,
I think that'll be the best.
Yeah, I'm and it's like it gets to be more, I think, weird shit in that one. But I think her character, I could be remembering it wrong, but she's like, this like, person that's like weaving all these plans behind the scenes, I think, which she is doing in this
classic Bene Gesserit.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Yeah. I know when she reveals that she is taken his seed into her womb.
Yeah. You were so jealous.
Well, it's not just
wouldn't be.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, I'm not saying, I don't want to be gross and be like, oh, I want to fuck Lucy Dew. I'm not the synesthetic Twitter account.
I was talking about Austin Butler.
Oh,
you want his seed.
Yeah.
Well, okay, sorry. Here's what I want. I would have sex with Austin Butler.
My seed, baby.
Yeah, I would. Here, baby. Come here, Benny. Yeah. Or no, fuck. Now I'm mixing up with Jacob Elordi and Priscilla, who is maybe more attractive in a sense, but a very different performance. Okay. I want to I don't want to make love to Léa Seydoux. I think that's for the synesthetic account, which is an account, a very horny French account that just posts pictures of her. The whole thing is that it's like cinema aesthetics, like pictures, like screen caps, beautiful movies. Most of the time, it's just pictures of Léa Seydoux that are like are like hot pictures of her. What I want to do is raise a child with her, have a family with her, and make children that are half beautiful and half monstrous. Of course, she's beautiful, and I would make the children. Yeah, it would be great. Yeah. With Austin Butler, who I think is really
specifically as Fade Routha.
Fade Routha, there is something about him.
His hairless
as a bald Harkonnen
sperm-like body,
like with the Stellan Skarsgård accent voice.
Yes,
which is
there's
so
something
good.
He does a great impression.
Yeah, which is
something very attractive about that, right? you know what I mean? Because he, Elvis, he's like much more conventionally attractive. He's swinging his hips, he's doing the voice, whatever. He's so charismatic in that movie. But as Fade Routha, it's like, if it's a fuck, marry, kill situation, that's who you want to fuck, right? But also, like, he would kill you, right?
Yeah. If you married him, he would kill you.
Yeah.
So you gotta be done, do what you need to him.
I think so.
Be done with him, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Or
just kill him.
I think he would do what he needed to you.
Oh yeah.
That's very much.
Yeah.
That's
very
that's
much a dominant
my
figure.
assumption. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
But the scene between him and Léa Seydoux, where she's like,
courting him,
come make love with me, and he's kind of standing, and it looks like it looks like he's gonna whip his dick out, and she's gonna fucking suck it, and then boom, come Jabbar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fucking
got him. Fucking
that is,
dummy.
Yeah. This movie is a lot funnier, I thought, and so much of that is because of Javier Bardem.
Oh yeah.
But that scene is maybe the hardest that I laughed, to the point where people were pretty invested in the movie around me and so on. I didn't want to seem like I was laughing at it.
Yeah.
But when she's like, when it looks like she's come, get a little more comfortable, and then it's like, put your hand in the box, boom, come Jabbar, right in the neck.
Yeah.
I thought
there's a way
so
it's
funny.
filmed that is a bit comedic.
I just think he is and Jordan Sakarecchia, that's the fourth time. Is that the fourth time?
4, yeah.
Jordan,
we got one more.
As Jordan pointed out, he is like MVP. He's giving like a real kind of campy villain performance.
He steals
but
the show.
It fits into the movie. Even if I think Jordan was saying, even if he's really the only one who's kind of on that level, you know what I mean? Like doing that kind of
Yeah.
there. maybe more broad kind of villainy thing. Maybe
Sure,
I don't know.
yeah.
I think so. Yeah. Well,
But,
he's like,
but it fits. It fits. Yeah.
And
but,
like for the character too, of just being like this, like he's like the end goal, like the big climax of the movie is that fight between them. So it's like, he's this big looming presence on screen. Like he's this like fucking maniac that's just like, it just works so well.
And like he's what was I going to say? Oh yeah, Jordan was saying how Jordan Sekaretti 5 times. He was saying how he always has this look on his face, like he's coming or like he's about to come. He's kind of the whole time he's like a lot
of like your jaw, like
and the fact that he's doing the Stellan Skarsgård voice and that it's really good. Like now, people joking about him. He can't do any other voice than the Elvis voice.
Well, he can't stop talking like Stellan Skarsgård in this movie now. He's going to have to get a dialect coach to train
people are gonna think he's Swedish.
Yeah.
Stellan
Yeah.
Skarsgård.
Yeah.
Swedish.
Yeah.
Swedish.
Yeah.
Sure.
Nordic. People are gonna think he's Nordic.
He's of Nordic descent.
Yeah. People are gonna think he's of Nordic
That's
descent.
gonna be his curse for like his entire career now. Like whatever role
What voice
he's
is he
in,
gonna do?
It's just gonna glue to him until like someone can like come wipe his mind.
Do another voice, yeah.
And then like he can be normal for like a week, and then like have to start,
It's the Oppenheimer, the meme with Benny
That's
Safdie,
great.
like until he does a bigger voice. Yeah.
Until he's like,
great.
Yeah.
And the other Elvis thing I was thinking of, they're on the black and white world.
Yeah.
Like and they make a whole point of it, like, oh, our beautiful like black sun is coming, or whatever it is. So everything's in black and white, which is like, I don't know, a little corny. Like they're evil,
Apparently, it was lit with infrared lighting.
Oh,
really?
Interesting. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. But I was thinking of the line, the famous line from Elvis, where Colonel Tom, right? They're like, here's the thing, he's white, but it's like he's black and white.
Right, yeah.
He's black and white.
He's the thing.
That's
he's black and white.
The Reverend Mother being like, he's black and white.
And that scene is good too, because it's like, okay, any scene where he's on screen is good.
Oh yeah, for sure.
The stuff on Getty Prime is probably like some of my favorite stuff in the whole movie.
Yeah.
Also because it's a huge like respite from like
there's a lot of desert.
So much desert.
There's a lot
stuff.
of desert.
And
honestly, I liked a lot of the desert stuff. Like I found the opening sequence of the film very engaging and like gripping.
I liked it a lot too.
I like the scene where the Harkonnen soldiers are like floating up
slow
the rock.
floating.
Yeah. That was really cool.
I really like that. Yeah. So
there's lots of cool shit in this movie.
Yeah.
Well, I saw in your Letterboxd review.
Yeah.
I called it on my Letterboxd review. I said we're gonna have a bloodbath on the pod.
Really?
Facetiously.
Oh.
But because our star ratings aren't that far apart.
No, I think I gave it a 3.5. Yeah.
I think you called some of the fight scenes kind of dull.
Yeah.
And
I think they're dull.
I think they're really well choreographed and like quite like.
I think that opening is
pleasing
good.
to watch.
Yeah.
And like quite. Some of the best fight sequences I've seen, especially the knife fighting that's in the movie. Like I thought it was really well done.
I don't know. It's not. I didn't. Yeah. I guess I do disagree with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm very like, I haven't seen a lot of like well choreographed fight scenes in films and like kung fu movies or anything like that. So I'm like not the best person to like speak to this, but like I didn't find them very spectacular, but that's not like necessarily like a bad thing for the movie, because I found, at least with like the books, like the source material, it really was never about like the big action sequences or whatever,
right,
and stuff like that. It was more like, even in the book, like the big end battle in this movie is like just literally happens between 2 chapters. Like you're like, it like starts at the end of one chapter, you flip to the next chapter, they're already like with the Emperor, like preparing to
that makes
with
sense.
Fade.
Yeah.
And it was quite short in the film as well. Like I think the action sequences in this were kind of few and far between, especially given the runtime.
For sure.
That's kind of surprising. But I thought they were really well done.
Yeah. They're not like particularly memorable. The only action choreographed scene or even part of it that has stuck with me is at the end when Fade?
Yeah, whatever.
Fade is
free, brother.
Yeah.
Thank you. Right.
When Paul is like grabbing Fade's dagger and it's like slipping through his hand, like that was like, that really upset
That's
me.
some classic stuff, right?
That was pretty good. But other than that, like the fight scenes are.
I like their whole knife fight sequence. I was just because the way they set him up, this Fade character, right, when he's doing the gladiatorial match on Getty Prime, which I thought was also like really well done. That was a really
I like
cool
that scene. Yeah, I like that scene.
But he's like, fighting like drugged people and whatnot. So it's like he likes kind of cheating and whatnot.
Yeah.
And in the book, he has like the poison barb in his belt.
Yeah, yeah.
But they kind of did away with that and
Yeah.
instead had that like, harkonening back to that moment where Timothy's fighting Gurney Halleck and he's like, I've killed you too.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
So I don't know. That was like an interesting difference, but
Yeah.
I like cheating Fade, like a bit of a shit trying to like poison him.
Yeah. I'm like the people I saw that the film with, they were confused about that fight scene. Like they're like, where, like they didn't really know what was happening and like where the dagger came from, like how Paul got like stabbed. Which
it is a little confusing.
Yeah.
Like confusingly shot or constructed. I
like
think
maybe
actually,
maybe he did have like a hidden dagger or something, and like they just had to cut like the emphasis of him pulling it out or whatever from that scene or something. But I don't know.
I got that he pulled out the dagger he was stabbed with and it stabbed him while he was slowly like cutting his hand.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
I got that. I think that's where they got confused, is like which is like obviously a purposeful misdirection of like the focus is on like Paul holding the end of the dagger.
I did like too the line reading. Well, all of Austin's line readings, but when like Timmy's like, may thy knife chip and shatter, and then he takes a beat and he's like, whatever, man. Whatever, man. May thy knife chip and shatter. Right? Yeah. No, but sorry. Okay, I'll stop doing it. Just like Elvis, he's got the sunglasses on. And he's kind of drugged out, and he's like, okay. Well, may thy knife chip and shatter. But no, his Skarsgård voice, like, I can't do it.
I can't do it either.
No, it is.
May thy knife chip and shatter.
I'm creepy.
I'm a little weird. I'm a weird little guy. Yeah.
I was not expecting it because I don't think they like you heard his voice in any of the promotional materials in the trailer.
I think I may have seen one scene. I'd heard he was doing it, but it's like
it's really
better.
I really appreciate that.
So good.
It's
too.
so
good.
Yeah, and like the best kiss out of the whole movie.
Oh yeah, of
definitely. Skarsgård and
I love you
and Butler.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I've kissed my uncle on the mouth.
Yeah, it's a very, I would say, bare minimum uncle nephew behavior.
Yeah,
to kiss each other.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
When my uncle gave me a planet,
to be a steward of
a drug mining planet.
Yeah.
I gave him a little kiss.
Yeah,
of course.
It's the least you could do for Unky.
So okay. Some other performances we liked. Who's new? Like, okay, Christopher Walken.
Very small part.
Small part.
Yeah.
I get it. I do like that they didn't. I mean, that they were just like, you can just use your regular Christopher Walken voice.
Yeah. I felt some people in the theater were like kind of laughing.
People were chuckling. Yeah.
Like towards the end, especially.
It's a shame because like he's good in I think he gives a good performance.
Yeah.
As kind of.
He's like powerful but like frail and old. And
yeah,
like,
and also like full of shit.
Yeah,
kind of, right, and also like is relatively easy to do a coup on.
Yeah.
Baron, what you gotta do
where's my spice
is get the spice flowing this more deep.
There is one point, I think there's one point where he says where he does say something like, we gotta find Muad'Dib. Yeah. There's a point where he's. I don't really remember too much.
It was kind of distracting. I was a bit distracted by it. I was like,
that's just this awful memey Saturday Night Live-y culture. That is he is very much also like a part of.
Sure.
He has dined out for the many years on doing an impression of himself.
Yeah.
And it was nice that he like wasn't doing that, but also it is a little distracting.
Like it's there, it's still there, but he's not like not like he's asking for more cowbell or bullshit.
That is nice that they didn't do that. Yeah. And Frances Pugh as his daughter is like, she's pretty, again, like very standard, not a bad performance. But doesn't really stick out, which is good, which it shouldn't, right?
Yeah, her performance really, or her character in the book is pretty minor.
Yeah,
obviously in this film, very minded.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Great costume design for
yeah.
that.
Yeah,
I found.
oh my God, yeah.
Really
Definitely.
enjoyed that, like
Yeah.
a break from the still suits.
Yes, yeah, which are a little samey like after a while.
Yeah.
So a lot of people I've been hearing a common complaint about this film is that like the people getting tired of the desert stuff.
Okay, yeah,
which I can understand because it is paced. I will give it like it is kind of paced in an interesting way where like it does feel like we spend a lot of time on Arrakis at the beginning, like like consecutively, like uninterrupted, basically. Like I was waiting for like the introduction of Fade, like they're gonna go to the Giddy Prime, like within the first 20 minutes to like introduce this menacing character, and he'll be like this looming threat over the film. But they don't do that until like
it's a long
halfway
time
through the film.
They spend a lot of time with the Atreides bunch.
Yeah.
And then they spend a lot of time with the Getty Prime bunch.
Yeah, It's
like
there's not this like flip floppy thing that like in like Star Wars.
But even the first one had a bit more of that. I feel.
Yeah,
they kept cutting to Seleucus Secundus or the stuff from Getty Prime in that one.
Right.
Which with the first one, like I felt like my opinion on the first one is like I'm pretty mid on it. Like when I first saw it, I was pretty disappointed. Like when I got out of the theater, like I did like hype it up a lot. Like I had just read the book and I was so excited. It looked so good. But I think part of that was because of the pacing. Like it did feel like you didn't really get to sit with any one scene or any one moment long enough to really connect with it.
It did feel kind of Christopher Nolan-y in that way, where it's like these short, tightly constructed scenes where every line someone has, it's not exposition, but they are telling you information like at a very quick pace. And then it's like, then we go here and we do the same thing.
Like the beginning of Tenet, it's just like, you're like fucking wheels on the ground, like go. Like here's all this crap you need to learn for this film.
Still haven't seen it.
Oh,
interesting.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Are you a fan of Tenet?
I risked my life to go see it in the original theatrical run.
Oh wow!
I was like, I would like to see it at home, and so that I can put subtitles on because you couldn't hear a lot of the dialogue.
Infamous sound.
But
issues.
also, like, whatever. I don't really care about that.
Yeah.
I thought it was. Yeah, I think it's okay. I don't think it's like his best movie or anything. I was not really blown away by it, but I was like, I when it was coming out, I was like, oh, okay, like. Is it really just like filming stuff backwards looks cool? And then when you watch it, I was like, it does look pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
It's like, Villeneuve, I think a lot of people compare Nolan and him right now.
Definitely.
And I think a lot of it does make a lot of sense where it's like, there is a lot of interesting visual and vision and stuff like that in their films, but like not a lot of depth underneath it, to kind of back it up.
I would agree with that. So when I said this movie, I find these movies kind of dull. I don't mean that they're like necessarily boring, because I found myself pretty caught up in like the actual plot of this movie, which I wasn't necessarily expecting. I think because, well, like unlike you guys, I haven't read the book, but I have seen the Lynch version. And in the Lynch version, I know we just watched it not that long ago, but I can't really remember very much of the kind of Bene Gesserit like plot, like all of the conniving and the we have these two prospects like Fade Routha and Timothée Chalamet, and all of this like he's becoming the like space Hitler stuff. Like I don't really remember much.
No.
The David Lynch movie doesn't. It feels triumphant at the end. There isn't really an uneasiness that I think they do really well in this movie. Like I do wish. I know in the book the section where he drinks the worm. The dish soap. Yeah, when he drinks the blue Dawn, which I do like to have a little bit.
It's kind of good.
You just put a little drop in your mouth and kind of brush your teeth with it. And then you have soap mouth, which is funny. It's a game I used to play. We'll talk about that another episode. Yeah. You blow bubbles. But when he drinks that, I know that it's like a longer, more kind of trippy section in the book. Is it?
From what I remember,
maybe not trippy, but he's like asleep for a while, and then when he wakes up, he says the sleeper has awakened, which is such a cool line. Yeah. And I wish they had said that, because I like when Kyle MacLachlan said, even though it like when he says it, I'm like, I don't even remember him really sleeping. Like I know he does, right?
Yeah.
But he's on the worm and he goes, "The sleeper has awakened." And it's like, okay, like, you know, it's just a good line. Yeah. But I thought, like, talking about performances, you know, Timothée is like pretty neutral throughout these movies, kind of the bit of a cipher character, lead character, kind of whatever. But I did think he really sold the change that he went through, and that when he goes hardcore and is like, I am no longer resisting the plan which I have seen I've seen through my visions leads to mass death and genocide and so on, and billions of people starving and dying and blah blah blah. When he starts to like, when he's like, "Yes, mommy, I will do what I've been bred for, mommy." Yeah. And he's you know, the scene where he's speaking to all of them, and he's like, "I am the Muad'Dib, I am Lisa." Yeah. You know, and he's like, "I've seen your past and your future and your whatever, and you have to believe me," and blah blah blah.
He convinces them by doing like an other side with like, what was that guy's name from, remember the 2000s? He was like, he had a talk show where he was a medium and he spoke to people and he was like,
yeah.
I just think of the Lemmy show sketch. Either you guys on that show? Scottish Lemmy show?
Oh yeah.
He does like a character where he's just like a medium, and he's just like telling fucked up things about people, like someone's grandma's in hell. He's like, she's got spiders all over her or something. That's all I think of. But yeah, he does that to a bunch of religious fanatics.
Yeah, and
it really is effective and pays off.
Got a little caught up in it. I was like, okay, like this is good. Yeah, and and then and that goes all the way to the end where he's like, I think the love stuff with like Zendaya's character, Chani.
She was kind of weak, unfortunately. Well,
I'm not a huge fan of Zendaya.
I think she's really good in Euphoria, which I unfortunately have seen all of. Not because I was jerking it to fucking Sydney Sweeney, which has become a culture war. Did you? Oh, you're
anti-woke now because you've
I actually. So I want to make a bold stance and say that I think huge tits can also be radical and leftist and progressive. I don't think that they're necessarily symbols of conservative values. And motherhood and trad wife stuff, okay? And if that makes me, a woke cuck loser, well, cuck me up. Like, here I am, go ahead. There was a National Post.
I don't know where this is coming from.
There was a National Post article. There's a... It's even outside. It's the kind of thing that your parents could just read.
I didn't know it was National Post.
I don't think they read it.
There was a National Post article about Sydney Sweeney's breasts.
Being like, does the buxom blonde Sydney Sweeney like signal like the end of wokeism or whatever? It's like, and they were like the big boobied blonde is. They don't say it like that, but that's essentially what they're getting at. Yeah, the BBB, the big boobied blonde is. Has been like has been basically canceled in our culture. Like, you never see these types of women anymore because they're not feminist or it's not woke and blah blah blah.
You can totally be like a feminist bimbo. Like, bimbo has become an aesthetic in and of itself. Do you know what I mean? Like, people are like reclaiming the title of bimbo.
I am Dolly a feminist
Parton's
bimbo.
been doing it for a long time.
There you go. It's just really weird the way people talk about her. And it just, like, it was already weird the way people talked about her. Yes. I get it. She has big boobs. And, like, I get it. Yeah. Lots of people have big boobs. And everyone likes big boobs. They're funny. Oh, okay. Alex doesn't like big boobs.
I mean, I don't have big boobs. You said lots of people have big boobs.
Lots of people like big boobs.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. But it's just so funny that it was like people were being really weird about her. And then all of a sudden, like, that article, and then a second article, like a second article hit her two boobs, and it's just so weird that it became the big weird. Like, people are just insane.
Yeah,
it's like
weird.
Yeah, it's just like Just like leave her alone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Let her
Like,
cook.
yeah.
It's like a fissure between the left and the right, but the left and the right like
boob
factions.
Yeah. Of course, one boob is bigger than the other.
Which side of the boob divide are you on?
Exactly.
Which is a struggle Paul goes through in the film is, do I stay normal or do I go quirked up totally
quirked up white boy.
Do a genocide?
Yeah.
And I will say, like, we appreciate Timothee's kind of, acceptance of the quirk.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Rebecca Ferguson as Lady Jessica, I also enjoyed her arc a lot too.
I like Rebecca Ferguson a lot.
Yeah, she goes so evil.
Yeah.
Like,
and when
so
she's
quickly.
talking to her unborn child, Anya Taylor-Joy.
I didn't get any of this stuff from the Lynch, any of this like story from the Lynch dude.
No.
I know there's some of it. I know that the daughter actually gets born and that she is actually
in the book.
Yeah, I know she's in the book as well.
She's the one who kills Baron Harkonnen in the book.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And
she's
Lynch,
really strong in the Lynch. That act, like Alicia Witt and just like it's super uncanny like visual of like her being just like a weird like little witch girl.
I
like,
really
I
wanted
that.
them to deep fake Anya
I know
Taylor-Joy
you did.
on a
You
little
sick
child.
fuck.
Yeah.
Not because of that. This would have been funny.
I'm kidding. I know it would have been funny.
Yeah.
You
and
get
for
that
her
one
to end the movie like the Lynch movie by going, "He is the Kwisatz Haderach."
Yeah, that's my favorite part of it.
Of the Lynch
Because
movie?
it's in slow mo and she's like, He's got the blue eyes. She's just like weird.
She's like
it's super weird.
Yeah. Really good.
Anya Taylor-Joy, you get the quick flash for the whole talking with the baby thing. Like,
it's pretty cool.
I did want to see an actual talking baby.
Yeah, I'm probably
I get
smart
why
that
they
didn't do it.
Yeah, I get why they didn't want it.
They're not doing. It seems like they are like. Yeah,
they came pretty close to it.
Yeah, they're not going full weird Dune, like especially with like the guild navigators too. Like I thought there was going to be one of those in this film, but I guess not. I guess like there's a theory. I don't know if you guys talked about this on the last episode or whatever, but like the in the first film when the Duke Leto was getting control of Arrakis.
I think we did mention this. Yeah.
Like the people in like the white helmets, like people are like, oh, those are the guild navigators,
right?
Which I am a bit disappointed about.
They might just be guild representatives.
Yeah,
we've yet to see a full blown guild navigator.
We're gonna see one in Dune Messiah.
I remember even in the miniseries, or it might have been the sequel to the miniseries, Children of Dune. Yeah, they had one, and they were kind of like a merman. Swimming in spice.
So remember I was saying there was an image that scared me. So I didn't.
Was it the navigator?
It was, and that's why I confused it with the David Lynch Dune because there's a navigator in that one.
Oh,
it was the Dune. Yeah, the Dune 2000 miniseries. I rented it one time. I already told this on the other episode, but very quickly I rented it, and I was really scared like by this one image, and I wanted to double check. I didn't have time to like watch it, but I did see this scene where the Guild Navigator shows up, and it's creepy. It's weird. It looks kind of like the Lynch one, but also a little bit like he's got like fins. He's kind of looks like Justin Long and Tusk a little bit. Yeah. And that's what scared me for sure.
We solved the mystery.
We solved the mystery, and I ran upstairs crying.
Okay.
And my friend Ethan had to console me again. Yeah.
The Guild Navigator is not real. Don't worry. It can't get you.
I don't know that. I'm not so sure of that. I saw it. I saw it with my own two eyes.
Yeah.
It's real.
Yeah. But yeah, I hope there is like a guild navigator in Messiah that is like a main character.
Okay,
so
cool.
like I'm
looking forward to that.
Unless they like do some erasure.
He's gonna do some weird shit in it.
Yeah, I hope so because like
I hope so.
That would be like the most compelling part of that film. It's just like the weird stuff, the political like drama and stuff like that.
The Tleilaxu or whatever.
Yeah. There's like all these like plans like to like now that Paul has like the control of the universe, it's like how he like deals with keeping that power basically, and there's all these people like well that's just like the story in the first book too is just like everyone grasping at power, and like you said, like that wasn't apparent in the Lynch films. It's like
not as much.
It's like it's more engaging when you get like all these different factions or houses or whatever, they're all just like trying to get control of something or someone or the universe or whatever.
And I saw a clip of Denis speaking because apparently he talks about it when the book first released. Like a lot of people didn't kind of catch the more like troubling aspects of Paul's character. They were just kind of viewed as the hero, and he wanted it to be kind of like a warning about Messiah-like figures.
Right.
Yeah.
So he changed some stuff, like particularly around the Chani character. Kind of showing like their fissure growing, because at the end of the book and in the David Lynch movie, she's like, yeah, okay, sweet. Like, I'll be your cuck queen concubine while you marry the princess, and let's fucking do this. I love you, Paul.
She's like a part of like the whole like sweep of like people blindly following Paul.
Totally.
Right.
And that whole thing, I think, is communicated a lot better in this one. So I think Denis cares a lot. I think he's obviously a big Dune head himself.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think, I don't think he would ever shy away from the weird stuff, because we kind of spoke about it in last episode, but he has plenty of weird stuff in his career through some of his films, you know?
Right. I don't, but these
just like, how can you, is he going to be able to sell, like at this scale, like now that he's like, these movies are pretty big, right? And like they're connecting with a lot of people. It's just like,
which is cool to see.
Is the studio going to like let him do that to like this big blockbuster movie?
I think they have faith in him. I don't know.
I think if Dune 2 keeps making lots of money, then
which would be good.
Yeah, totally.
I don't think he's like I don't think his films are weird. Like, I mean, I don't think like the actual how they're like constructed is weird in the way that like Lynch's films are.
Even Enemy
is me, and I haven't seen his earlier movies, but Enemy is maybe the weirdest one.
Yeah.
But even then, like, you know, well, no, I do really like Enemy.
Yeah.
It just speaks to the Toronto experience so accurately.
I think you're just under the influence of the film Twitter voice.
Oh no.
Film Twitter has voiced you into.
I don't think so, because I this is how I felt about it before I was on Twitter,
20 years
right?
from now, you're going to be singing like a different tune.
But
you're going to be
but this is how I felt about Prisoners. This is how I felt about Arrival.
I think
these are how I felt about all these movies, right?
Arrival's really good. I really like Arrival.
Yeah, I think the ideas in it are good. I think it's a decent movie. And this is also about like Blade Runner. I just don't think that they're just not the type of movies that like cinematically speak to me. I don't know, which I know sounds dumb, but like, do you know what I mean? I find them to be kind of like satisfying.
They're very
competently made. But they're not memorable in like cinematic terms for me. Does that make any sense?
That makes sense to me. Like, I was thinking about this because you guys talk about ratings a lot. And you argue about ratings. Like
lately we have.
But like the star ratings and stuff. And just like thinking about like how I personally rate movies or just connect with them. And I think for me, it's like, it's almost like there's like only like 3 tiers of like how I perceive a movie.
Sure.
And like the top tier is just like this like godlike space of like it like you know connects with a part of me that I can't like, you know, you can't put into words in really good ways.
Inexplicable.
It just like the sum of its parts is just like, you know, speaks to you in a way that is just hard to put in words, hard to describe. So I totally get that. And I don't think Villeneuve's films cross that line. I think they are enjoyable to watch. There's a lot of good stuff in them, and especially with Dune, it's very apparent that he understands the book. He loves the book, and like the team that made this film like is on the same page too, and like really did it a good service. But it doesn't, you know, cross that line of like, this is a, you know, big masterpiece or like connects with me, and I'm probably not going to be thinking about this past like next year.
Yeah, that's the thing. I feel like it doesn't, you know, I don't know. Maybe somewhat jokingly calling something like, and again, it's just not fair comparisons, but like Trouble Every Day being a movie that like sticks with you, right?
Yeah,
sure.
Like this movie and other movies are like not just movies that are like canonical classics now or whatever, but like lots of movies I think stay with me in one way or another that leave me like even watching the Lynch Dude, there are things that stayed with me after watching it where I was like, why was it done like this? Why was that shot put there and edited like this?
Why is there a cat in a box?
Yeah, right. You know,
he has to milk.
Like like what like why have these close-ups here of these Harkonnen people with their eyes showed shut and this and that? Like why, like, you know, or whatever it is. And and in these movies, like I just don't really I don't really have that, and there's nothing wrong with that. No. Like Dune 2 has come and gone for me. I enjoyed watching it. I had the biggest possible popcorn and soda you can get, and I drank all of it and ate most of that popcorn. And And that's what it was for me,
Which is great.
Which is great.
Yeah.
And I totally am fine with that. And that's how I feel also about like, what's another block? Well, I'm just trying to think about like blockbusters that I think are good, but aren't really like,
it's hard to
These are a cut above like the average blockbuster.
Definitely.
Sure. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because the average, but that's also because the average blockbuster fucking sucks right now.
Yeah. The
right?
quality has gone down.
Yeah.
But
because the average blockbuster used to be pretty competently made, right?
Yeah.
But now, like, no, awful. Like, and I actually don't see a lot of those movies.
yeah, I think he's
but,
like brought the
you know-
benchmark back up to like a good standard of like, okay, this is a good, competent film.
They're better than like the average Star Wars these days.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
It wasn't
Absolutely.
made by like a team
Yeah.
of executives with dog food in their heads.
No,
Like,
it was not made
very
by the dog
thoughtfully
food head
made.
executives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was like I was saying, like I unfortunately I didn't have my mind blown by this. I didn't think it was a
Right.
transcendent masterpiece.
No.
But I also think it's like a pretty, great blockbuster sci-fi epic film.
Yeah, that's fun.
And I'm like,
It's
yeah,
fun.
and I'm
Yeah,
happy it's
they are
like
fun.
doing well.
Yeah.
And I hope like, younger people go see it and like have arguments over like,
Yeah.
the
Fascism.
Yeah.
like the philosophical stuff like in
I
this.
wouldn't be a that's the best argument you can have is I wouldn't be a fascist.
Yeah.
But
yes you would.
Better-
Yes you would, loser.
Better they argue about the
Idiot.
morals of Paul Atreides versus like, did what Thanos did was wrong or whatever.
Yeah.
That,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
dumb
Well,
debate or something.
yeah,
like,
Well, it's just like that's just
yeah.
to the source material is like it's a better, more interesting like story.
For
And-
sure.
and
Definitely.
but yeah, like you're saying,
Definitely.
it's so nice to see a lot of people like even like though like we didn't have like a transcendent experience
Yeah.
watching this movie. It is nice to like see a lot of people really like have fun and like
Oh yeah.
connect with this movie.
Yeah.
and,
People
like
people were vibing with this movie at the screening.
on a big scale. Yeah.
Yeah, because and I mean, you can sense it a little bit with people who are directly around you or whatever. But I also would judge that by going to the movies, like especially like blockbuster movies, is so it just keeps getting worse and worse. Like with big crowds, like people are on their phones, and I
Yeah.
don't want to sound like an old man, but like people are
I agree,
really
yeah. People are-
disrespectful.
yeah.
Blah blah blah. People were. Like I saw one or two phones at 1 or 2 points just because it's long. I think people were like, and there's some guy fucking checking his Apple Watches are like
Oh, fuck.
terrible.
Oh, my
Those are
God.
so
cut
bad,
off
right?
their
They
wrists.
should put
Yeah.
in a fucking bin at the front door.
You should not. You don't need that.
No,
you really
You don't need to be more
you don't need that.
connected to your phone. Your phone
Yeah.
doesn't need to be more
You
accessible.
can put one on when you're going for a run
Yeah.
or something. But
Yeah.
other than that, you don't need to look at an email at like a very small screen. It's just like not good for you.
No.
I'm
to be
I'm no
stopped.
scientician, but it's not good for you.
You're no mentat.
I'm not a mentat. No,
This is-
Bentat.
Yeah.
Bentat.
Bentat.
Thank you. Boop, there's my eyes going up.
Rolling
Boop.
back. Yeah.
Do you think it would have been better or worse? No mentats in this movie, by the way.
Oh yeah, Thufir
Unfortunately, he got
Erasure.
cut.
He
Yeah.
got cut. Yeah.
Fuck.
Do you think his character would have been good if they had a sound effect when the eyes go up and they go down, going boop, boop,
Like a slide whistle.
Yeah.
It would have been better.
boop, boop.
There was one guy in my screening who went on his phone he was like in one of the first few rows.
Ah.
And speaking to people being dialed in,
Yeah.
someone yelled at him
Yeah.
like from further back.
Oh.
They were like, "Get off your phone, dude!" And then
Yeah.
he didn't. And then the guy just came back and he was like, "Get the fuck off your phone, dude!"
Yeah.
And, then
Wow.
and it was
Dude.
like, man, people
Yep.
are locked in.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. So I'm glad you used the phrase locked in, because this is something else I was thinking about. Like people were locked in, and also it is okay to throw popcorn at someone if just like 1 or 2 kernels, as I've said before. It's okay to do it. Cineplex says it's okay.
It's
I don't know if
ethical.
whatever you have to check with your company, Alamo Drafthouse or whatever, AMC in the States, whatever it is, but it is okay to do it. Okay, I love watching a movie, and I am always waiting for that lock-in moment where, you know what I mean, where like the lean forward meme or whatever.
Yeah,
it is,
the
where you're-
Top Gun guy clenching
yeah,
his fists.
yeah,
on
yeah.
his
Where
chin.
you're like this is cinema.
Yeah.
This is, and for me with this movie, these types of movies, like I don't typically get it, and the moments where I did in this movie were mostly Fade Routha based.
Yeah.
Just being like, all right,
Understandable.
Here's my guy.
Yeah, this fucking weirdo's
here's
back.
my Elvis.
Let's go.
Yeah. Here's for you, baby. Yeah. Come on, baby. Yeah, and that's fine. I wasn't expecting to, whatever. But I think if you compare it to the first movie, I think I probably did like it more. It still feels like kind of half a movie, but it does feel less half a movie than the first movie.
Yeah.
I do think I would have probably preferred seeing like a 3.5 hour version of the two of them together, whatever. But whatever, that's fine. I think a large part of that, and a large part of why the desert scenes aren't like interminable, is because of Javier Bardem, who we should maybe give more of a shout out, like as Stilgar. Yeah, Stilgar.
Yeah.
People were really, really digging his character.
Yeah.
Laughing, but not like inappropriate, not like laughing at it. People were really, really
a lot of the shit he's doing is like funny.
Yeah.
And he's been memed now. He's a huge meme.
Okay.
But I think it's one of those cases where it's a meme born of love.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's like how people to this day are still memeing like Lord of the Rings. It's because they love those movies and they're so familiar.
Definitely.
Like these Stilgar memes, I think they're pretty funny. It's basically like Paul doing anything or like showing Stilgar
he's like,
anything.
You do anything.
Lisa and Gabe,
Yeah.
He's like,
It is written or whatever. As it is written or whatever. As is written. Yeah. Yeah. Like
very Monty Python Life of Brian-esque.
Yes. So
It's one of my favorite movies.
Definitely. I was thinking about that quite a bit.
He's not the Messiah. He's a very naughty boy.
Yeah, I know. A friend of the pod, future guest Maxim, was thinking the same thing as well. Like they basically say, "I'm not the Messiah. I'm just a naughty boy."
I say you are the Messiah, and I should know I followed a few.
Yeah, they're very close. And when he's giving the big speech, and you see how big the crowd is, I was waiting for someone in the back to be like, "Speak up." What did he say? Yeah, he said what did he say about our past, our future? Yeah. He's going to lead what? Did he? They don't say jihad. They do say holy war. They don't say jihad. Yeah.
Strategic.
Yeah.
They don't say jihad. Sorry, I don't know.
They're going into Trump for a minute. They don't say it. No one's saying it.
They're not saying jihad anymore.
I would have said it. I would have said it 100 times.
I would have said it. Yeah. I say jihad.
Muad'Dib.
Yeah.
Everyone's saying it. Muad'Dib.
They killed Leto Atreides like a dog.
Yeah, he died
like a dog.
Die like a dog. He actually did die like a dog.
That's true.
With the stink breath, Yeah. So, Javier Bardem is so funny in it, and and I think the idea is that maybe later, as it becomes more apparent that like this is not going to end well for like the universe, that it's supposed to be a bit tragic, like his like kind of blind fall, like devout, religious like zealotry or whatever. I didn't really get that as much. Like I just felt it was kind of funny more so. Like
it wasn't tragic. It was comedic.
It didn't feel tragic at the end, but I know that's sort of
it's where it's going.
Where it's going.
Yeah. Well, I remember, like, from what I remember, at a certain point, like the Stilgar jokes kind of stop and it gets a bit more serious.
Yeah.
I don't really recall. Maybe after they blow up Siege Tabor,
when they find nuclear bombs. And
that's cool.
Just want to shout out Sohelia Yacoub from Gaspar Noé's Climax that I mentioned earlier. She's the Fremen friend. She's
too spicy for you, white boy.
Yeah.
Was that the one who got like flamethrowered?
I think so.
Oh wow,
that was brutal too.
And I was like, oh my god, it's her from Climax. I was like, that's great.
No, crazy. She was good. She was very good.
Almost talking about like almost cuts. What was his name?
Tim Blake Nelson.
Dave
Bautista.
Was kind of like not snub, but like very like I guess I don't know. Like I remembering the first movie, I guess he wasn't really used a lot in the first one either. But like this one, it felt like he was like just in the beginning and then gone.
I thought it was kind of cool to see Dave Bautista get like manhandled a bit by Austin Butler and kind of shot at because he's such an imposing figure. He's a big man.
Yeah.
And just to see him kind of get like made a fool of and like,
kiss my boot,
emasculated. I know. Like it was kind of cool.
They use him well.
Yeah. Well, he's like introduced in the film like the
He's
scene
got
where
an
he's like
anger problem.
where
Yeah.
he's like waiting outside the door with the Baron's like on the other side in his black goo room, and you just hear screaming,
killing ladies,
ladies, and then he comes in, which I thought was really, really good.
A lot more killing ladies in this one.
Well, so they made him an evil like pedophile monster, but not a gay pedophile monster.
Which
not necessarily a pedophile. Was that implied? Like, it's hard to tell age when you're hairless. And
you're right. I don't know.
I mean, in the books, I think he's like made out to be like a very lusty character, and it's interesting.
I'm not saying that's good or bad necessarily.
No, it's interesting to see.
He's scary.
Yeah, the two directions that the Lynch and the Villeneuve films take. The Lynch one is obviously like a little weird that they put a lot of emphasis on the not weird, it's bad that they put a lot of emphasis on like him being like this gay guy.
It's weird. But also maybe more memorable. I don't know.
Yeah.
For better or for worse.
More memorable. Yeah, for better or for worse. And then in this one, he's like, I think, just a bit less like lusty, but likes kissing nephews.
He does like kissing nephews.
Which is fair.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
Well, that's
you got a nephew like that. Who wouldn't fuck?
Yeah.
Do you remember from the book? Because I had this memory that like he wanted to put Fade in charge of Dune after Raban, because Raban was meant to be like very like cruel and harsh, so that Fade would have looked like a step up, and it was more of like a political play to be like, look, we're not bad people. And that was kind of like lost. But then I was like, am I just misremembering that? Because I remember liking that idea in the book.
There was something like that, I think. But I think it was like Fade is going to be like the Iron Fist ruler or something.
Okay.
It was like, but like basically like what you're saying is like there was a political aim to like Robin starting and then Fade coming in. Like that was obviously like the master plan from the
rather than in this
get-go.
movie where it's just like, oh, Robin failed, so now it's your turn, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't really get into it too much.
No.
Yeah.
I'm curious who Tim Blake Nelson would have played. Because speaking of
was he gonna be a
He
Mentat?
was gonna be. I had to look into this because I don't remember this character from the book. I'm forgetting his name now, but like I can't remember.
But what was the character? Do you remember what the character was? Or?
No.
Oh, okay. What's the cut character you remember?
I don't.
You don't? Oh, okay.
Okay, maybe it's
we have the book right here. We'll just have to read it.
Yeah.
Okay, you want to start, Ben?
Okay.
We can divvy it up. Like you can take the first like 150
let's see here.
pages.
Introduction by Brian Herbert.
Oh,
I knew this. Okay, this introduction.
No.
Yeah. Sorry. This is a great introduction. So Brian Herbert, I feel like you would know this is his son. And the introduction starts, I knew Frank Herbert for more than 38 years.
Oh, God.
How did I know him?
How did I know him? I'm glad you asked.
Goes without saying, Brian, you dickhead.
Okay, here we go. Okay, blah, blah, blah. We're turning pages. In the week before the departure to Arrakis, when all the final scurrying about had reached a nearly unbearable frenzy, an old crone came to visit the mother of the boy Paul. Now, shout out to Old Crone. One of my favorite Old Crones, Charlotte Rampling, who I do love very much, and who gets a lot of good stuff to do. Yeah, she's just, and she always has the veil on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good touch. And and then at the end too, when Paul uses the voice in her, right, and she's like knocked over.
She essentially almost goes, he is the Kwisatz Haderach.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Okay, so his character was going to be Fenring, Count Fenring, who is
Margot Fenring's like father or something.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Who is, Leia
Seydoux.
Yeah, they're I think that's her husband or something.
Oh, okay.
And Fenring is like Count Fenring is the Emperor's closest friend and advisor. Yeah, and husband to Bene Gesserit, Lady Margaret.
And that solves the mystery of the missing Tim Blake Nelson.
Yeah, well, that's
too bad, yeah.
So erasure of Thufir in the film, unfortunately. But Thufir in the book, like at past that point, like really doesn't. I think he like. I forget what he does.
The Harkonnen Mentat.
Yeah, he's the Harkonnen Mentat, and his thing is like he's like fucking with them.
Yeah,
I forget how or if that even pays off, but it makes sense that like he's cut. But it's unfortunate because it would be good for him to do more than 2 lines from the first film.
Apparently, Denis was heartbroken that he had to cut through.
Yeah,
Fleece.
he did say that, didn't he? Wah, wah, wah. Yeah.
Soft-hearted French Canadian.
Yeah. He's still got feelings. He made it big, but he's, you know.
Do you know so little of my son? Jessica whispered. See that princess standing there, so haughty and confident. They say she has pretensions of a literary nature. Let us hope she finds solace in such things. She'll have little else. A bitter laugh escaped Jessica. Ha ha. That's not really bitter. I could do better.
Yeah.
Do a bitter laugh for us, Alex.
Ha.
Oh, okay. Alex Gabriel.
Alex.
Gabriel Musil. Muesli.
Wait, what am I doing? What am I bitter laugh?
Yeah, give us a bitter laugh.
Oh no, I'm not.
It has to escape you. Okay, you don't have to.
Okay, it escaped me. I couldn't do it.
Okay. Think on it, Channy. That princess will have the name, yet she'll live as less than a concubine, never to know a moment of tenderness from the man to whom she's bound.
Oh, they're describing how she's going to be a cut queen.
Yeah.
We who carry the name of concubine, history will call us wives. And that is the end of the book. That's the very last part of the book.
Wow.
For
Great
the appendices. The ending of this movie, I thought very funny, where, you know, like Paul wins the fight. He makes Christopher Walken kiss his ring, and he's like, I'm going to marry Florence
Princess,
Pugh. Yeah. And then Chani looks heartbroken. And she's like, I just want to get out of here. I just want to get on my motorcycle and drive away.
Yeah.
But of course, the version of that in this movie is to ride a sandworm.
Hitch a ride on a sandworm.
Which is kind of a weird spot to end it.
Yeah,
it was funny.
It's
you know?
kind of silly
Yeah.
looking back at it. Yeah.
I thought it was.
They don't show her hitching a ride on the worm.
No,
She's
but
just like calling
one.
it.
It's just like, I gotta get on my hog and ride. Man.
Yeah.
I'm getting out of this town. You know.
Yeah.
What do you think about the sandworm riding sequence? It was okay.
Worming.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty strong. I thought it was done like well. Like,
Yeah.
it could look kind of hokey if done poorly, as exemplified in the Lynch version.
Yeah.
So I thought, and like
I like the design of the worm in the Lynch version more, though.
Yeah, I think they consciously were trying to do something a bit different.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think there was like some image because like the worm's mouth looks like an eye, like iris or whatever, right?
Right.
Like so I think there's maybe some imagery there that they wanted to do. But yeah, it's the worm.
The eye is the mouth of the worm.
Yeah.
That's also from Dune.
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
Yeah.
And then the sequence when they're staging the final attack, which is kind of short in the film as well.
I made a note about like how much I appreciated that was like really a quick sequence.
Yeah.
It wasn't this big like thing that they're trying to do like another Lord of the Rings like big
super
end,
extended,
crazy end battle. It just happens.
Yeah.
You understand like what it's doing and it does its thing and then is done. It doesn't linger on it too hard, which I really appreciated.
The shot that's on the poster with the sandstorm and the worms kind of like riding out and stuff, it did look and sound like pretty phenomenal in IMAX. It was very like, wash over me.
Yeah.
It was cool, seeing the sense of scale of the worms, like, and the little guys running away, being like, oh no. Like,
It is.
I like that.
Yeah.
It was cool seeing the small worms too.
Oh, yeah, the babies
Like
that they had to
little-
fucking drown.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, that's right.
The sequence was interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole stuff was really fun.
Yeah, all the drinking the worm spunk stuff was like kind of, I like that. It really does look like they're drinking Windex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so blue.
Or cool blue flavored
It's
Gatorade.
blue Rev.
Or like the
Blue Rev,
the blue liquid they used in tampon commercials in like the 90s and
Oh
2000s.
yeah, just to
Yeah,
show
of
how
course,
it's
of course.
This is,
absorbent it is.
this is how much I'm forgetting what it's called. What is it? The water of life?
The water of life.
Water of
Yeah.
life. There's so much water of life you can soak up in your tampon.
I do remember seeing one of those like at a very young age, like before any type of like sex education, and being like, "Oh, I get it."
Oh, it's pee.
Women leak blue liquid out of their bum holes. Yeah, I understand.
Happens to the best of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder when I will leak blue liquid out of my bum hole.
Mommy, when do I leak?
Yeah. Anyway.
All right. In the spirit of our guests, different rating system and style,
Yeah.
but not too much.
No, yeah.
Yeah. 3 options.
how
instead of-
many-
Three options is
or whatever. Yeah.
How many sandworms out of 3 would you give this movie?
Okay.
It's still very much a rating system, but
all right.
There's 3.
I would give it a 2, solid 2. Right? Out of 3?
Yeah.
2.
All right.
I don't think it can cross over to the 3.
No.
And it's definitely not a 1.
No.
So yeah, 2 easily.
Yeah.
For me.
I'd give it 2.5 just because, it's not crossing over to 3, but I like that we have this like the birth of a big blockbuster franchise that is made, very carefully and thoughtfully, and whether or not like you're super locked into it, like a lot of people are, and it's just like heartening to see.
Yeah.
And while I didn't like fully get locked in myself, I did enjoy my experience watching in IMAX as well. It's just, it's not a mind-blowing like masterpiece or classic. I think it's just really, really solid.
Yeah. After being like let down by the first one, I was like hoping and praying, crying, shitting my pants. And I was like, please just like let it be fun. Let me have like a good time at this movie after being let down or feeling deflated after the first one. And it did that. So I'm happy it did that.
Yeah, I would give it maybe a 2 out of 3 as well. Like I think what I was joking about in my review was like if like giving them both parts a 3.5 out of 5, which equals a 7 out of 5 as a whole movie.
That's an amazing movie.
So it's actually the best movie I've ever seen. but of course that's not how math works.
No,
I looked it up. I actually asked friend of the pod Will.
Yeah.
No, I should ask him. I should ask him how fractions work. I'm sure he would have a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
Whip out the chalk. But
interesting. It's crazy that we all like have a very similar rating of this and taken from this movie,
I like I was saying, like I don't think they're bad movies.
No.
I don't. If you want to talk about getting caught up in like film Twitter or whatever, there are people who like really love it, and then there are people who are like
despise
will always
it.
hate. Yeah, they will like always hate the thing that people really love.
Yeah,
and those people like the thing that I hate more. There's only one thing that I hate more than the people who like are haters, and that's their whole thing, is that they will hate everything that people like, and they always hate it, and it's so predictable. Like we were talking about in the last episode, it becomes you so easy to be like, well, okay, well we know what you think because you don't think, you just hate everything.
Yeah, you're just reactionary. Yeah.
The only thing that makes me kind of cringe more than that is people who really really love everything, and it's really two sides of the same coin.
Yeah,
we're not so different, you and I, but not you and I, but you know what I mean. Like because none of us are like that. But I think it's just that the haters and the language of the hater is more appealing. The language
funnier.
it's funny, and it can be catty and bitchy and fun.
Yeah.
But the language of the lover, so to speak, which is French, of course, as we know,
or Quebecois,
or in this case, the ugliest version of French I've ever fucking heard. That's right, I said it just for laughs. Bankrupt. Never again.
Rotten shit.
Yeah. Finally,
green fucker.
The people of Montreal can rest in peace.
Yeah,
they won't be assaulted in public.
Yeah.
What is that little green fucking thing?
He's a demon. He's a
demon
from hell.
Yeah,
He's a French Canadian laughter demon.
It's a French Canadian.
It's what lives inside of each Quebecois person. It's like.
It's what lives inside each comedian.
Yeah,
that makes them want to go on stage and embarrass themselves. Like that.
Pursue a horrible. Hard, embarrassing career.
The most morally bankrupt form of entertainment.
Well,
for
absolutely,
for sure.
Absolutely, yeah. Sculpture, of course, being the most morally bankrupt. No, I'm just kidding. That I say that because that one seems genuinely pretty good. No, like the people who are just love everything, and the Letterboxd reviews of the post or whatever, where they're like. It's always they're thinking of like a couple different guys, but it's always the same thing where it's like, this movie floored me. I was brought to tears by the end, and it's like you can't say that about every movie you watch, because then how am I supposed to believe you? Are you going every movie you're going to? You're leaving it in tears.
Kevin Smith.
Well, yeah.
Honestly, that is a beautiful way to live. I wish I could just like everything I see is like, wow. This is so amazing.
What I am really saying, I think, is that both of those both the extreme lover and the extreme hater are very performative, and we can tell.
Yeah.
we can tell that you don't actually, you can't possibly like everything.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Introduce some nuance into your life, you fucker.
Yeah,
you asshole.
bastard. Yeah.
And I will say, like, there's, similar to becoming the messianic leader of a group of people, there's danger in getting caught up in the, this becoming like the second highest rated movie on Letterboxd or something,
Yeah.
Is it still number 1 on IMDb?
I don't know.
That was a thing.
But it's like,
That's crazy.
it's the cult of overhype. And it's
Yeah.
like, you sometimes it does affect other people's enjoyment of it, because you walk in feeling the hype, and you kind of, you can't help but feel disappointed when it's a solid, really well made, in my opinion, movie.
Yeah.
But it didn't, I didn't transcend space time by ingesting worm Windex.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would like some of that.
Wormdex.
But I
I
think
wonder what Windex tastes like. I'm gonna go
We could
find
try
out.
some.
we can
Yeah,
try
I have
some right now.
cleaner.
And
Yeah.
I know
Dawn,
what it tastes like.
we can try all the blue stuff in your house right now and figure out which one tastes
one's the
most
which
similar to
one-
worm.
Which one puts us in the deepest coma?
Yeah. Which one helps us fold space time? I'm doing it. The Dawn's doing it. We found it.
Yeah.
But I
You
think
try to say that you wake up from the coma, you try to say the sleeper is awakened,
Yeah.
but like, you have locked in syndrome. Like you can't speak because the Windex is like giving you severe brain damage.
Your tongue has swollen.
Yeah.
or you're in a hospital and you have a tube down your throat into your stomach.
Yeah.
We had to pump
Don't-
your stomach because you burned your
Yeah.
esophagus.
Do not drink any blue liquid except Blue Rev, Cool Blue Gatorade, Powerade,
Best Powerade.
Powerade. Sure,
Same thing.
But if you're gonna drink Powerade, might as well drink Gatorade.
Yeah, don't drink Powerade.
Drink the gay one.
Really?
Yeah.
What's wrong with you
Gatorade's
guys?
better.
Yeah. Gay. It's gay. in it.
Powerade Blue is better than any of the Gatorade flavors, but I will admit that most Powerades are
It's the
inferior.
same thing.
No, it's Power, not Gator.
Oh,
No, it's
yeah.
pow, not gay. Would you rather be gay or get a pow in the face?
No,
you know?
because it's not gay. It would be gate.
No, it's gay.
No, because the T.
No, the suffix is terade.
No, but there's no T in Powerade.
Yeah, it's powterade. Have you never looked at the bottle?
You know who likes Powderade is Florence Pugh, because she's always pouting.
That's right. That's right.
She has that famous pout.
Yeah, that's right.
She didn't have it in this one.
No,
she didn't.
very neutral. Yeah.
How could you pout when your dad's Christopher Walken, the Emperor of the Known Universe?
Yeah.
He'd probably be a good
That's right.
dad.
Hey, he was probably good.
I love you, Florence.
I love you so much. But I think we can all agree that with the source material of Dune, we all agree that it could only have been crafted and helmed by a Quebecois man.
Yes. And he has said.
I think
Why?
I think
I
his
know, I completely
understanding,
agree.
Why?
his deep understanding of being Quebecois,
the struggle of
the
being
sh-
Quebecois.
the struggle of it. Yeah,
Yeah,
True.
he did more or less say the Fremen are Quebecois.
Or FLQ,
Yeah.
Fremen Liberation of Quebec.
he was really
Well,
trying to be like their dialect to be like Quebecois French, just like this ugly.
Apparently, he tried to work in the word tabernacle somewhere in the
Yeah.
movie, but it didn't work out.
I guess
The studio cut it.
Yeah.
Who first said it?
You look through the glossary of terms here and you're like, oh, tabernacle, eh? What's this? Yeah.
I
Brian Herbert, Frank Herbert.
kind of big on the franchisees front, which will surely get us new fans because we're the ones who caught this.
Yeah.
But in the last episode, we were saying that the garbled speech at the beginning of the
Yes.
credits would become like there a long time
And it
ago.
did.
Oh,
that's
yeah,
because of
yeah.
it.
Yeah,
And
it
it
did.
certainly did.
Yeah.
So point one for the franchisees.
Yes.
Tell your friends and follow us on social.
Yeah. Exactly. We should introduce the next franchise as well.
Yeah.
Woo.
Oh,
Let's
do you
fucking
have
go.
anything you want to promote to the people you already know?
I'll double promote the pod, long-time listeners. So it's really fun to be on this pod and,
thank
seeing where this parasocial relationship that I've built in my head with both of you.
Infinite
goes.
disappointment, I'm
very
sure.
Yeah. I'm very disappointed. Never coming back on the pod.
Yeah. You will stop listening now. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I will probably not listen to this episode, but I'll I don't know.
Jordan Sakurachia, final mention was asking how it was. He said, "How was he? How was my special boy?"
Oh,
Yeah,
I don't
he said,
know,
We're still
Jordan.
recording. Now he says, get off your phone. But jokes on him. It's going to be in the episode.
Yeah.
This idiot.
Fucking yeah. He
Dumb
made his
shit.
way into the episode again.
Yeah,
God
I know.
damn it.
Kind of like a worm,
Or
wriggling
that
around.
little just for laughs demon.
Yeah. He
That
is.
little fucker.
He is kind of like Jordan loves stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you ever want him to ask him what he thinks about stand-up, he loves it.
I'll also. You guys have a lot of listeners in Quebec, right?
A few.
Oh,
Okay.
I don't know. Is that true? Oh, maybe.
Or a
we had
few, right?
Saint Jean sur Richelieu.
Oh, yeah.
He stopped listening a while back.
Oh no.
I don't know when we disenfranchised him, ironically.
Okay, well I'll just
Damn.
But we have some listeners in Montreal.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll just apologize to any Quebec listeners about the Quebec jokes that I might have made through this episode. Love your province. Love you guys.
La Belle Provence.
Yeah. So I think that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me on the pod.
Yeah, of course.
Listen to this pod all the time.
Bless
Nice.
you.
Well, I hope you enjoy the very serious. So I picked The Hustler and Color of Money, and now Alex.
Okay, you're
picked...
putting it on me.
It was your. You did.
It was
want
my
to do
idea. Listen,
it. Yeah,
this is the best time to do this fucking duology.
I agree.
Kung Fu Panda.
No, duology. They're
There's
on like
only
number
two.
4.
Oh, yeah, it's only two
I
of
thought it
these.
was like weird
Yeah.
because there's 4 Kung Fu Pandas, so it was like divisible by 2.
That's the quadrilogy, the fake word they made up to sell the Alien box set. Now, what are we doing?
Yeah.
We're going from the exotic planet Arrakis to the exotic planet Boston,
Massachusetts.
Yeah.
This is the first movie I saw in theaters. The second movie I saw on a plane. Remember
Interesting.
being really unimpressed with.
I didn't see the second one. I never went back to the well for another drink, unfortunately.
But like Ben said, we're headed to Boston, Massachusetts. We're gonna hit the bong. We're gonna drink some beers. We're gonna hide from thunder because we're doing Ted and
That's
Ted
right.
2.
No
That's
way.
right.
Hell
Right,
yeah.
yeah.
In honor of the Ted TV show.
There's a TED TV show.
Hell yeah.
In honor of our hero Seth MacFarlane. We're always quoting Family Guy.
We
on
love
here.
Family Guy. Yeah, we
No,
often
no,
joke
The
about
Simpsons.
Oh,
I'm thinking of
the Simpsons. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Homer, Bart, right? That's from the Family Guy.
Marge.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. No, The Simpsons is the
Lois.
one. Yeah, The Simpsons is the one where he goes Lois,
Yeah.
right? And The Simpsons also is the one where he has the where the dog goes giggity giggity goo. Yeah, I can't wait. We're doing Ted and Ted 2.
That's really exciting.
And maybe we'll watch an episode of the Ted TV show, and we're going to watch every single TED Talk. That's every single one. There's that's got to be thousands of hours of content, and I would say mostly bad.
Yeah,
mostly really bad.
Just a yap fest for most of the time.
We're
Yeah.
going to deliver a TED Talk on how to do a film podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't wait. Yeah.
Add to the yap fest of TED Talks.
Yeah. We're gonna try to find a guest named Ted to come on as well.
Ooh.
There's got to be somebody we know, right?
Yeah.
Do you know any Teds?
A friend of mine's brother was a Teddy, but I was never
You kinda
friends
grow out of
with
it?
him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, you can put you live on a busy street, so you just put like a sign out
Yeah.
front and just say, "Are you?"
Everyone
Ted?
just
Call
comes
me."
on this pod and just doxes the crap out of me.
Why did you say what street?
I
Just
know,
a
I'm just-
busy
I'm just-
street.
I'm just teasing.
But on that note, you should further the docs. You
Yeah.
know? Like what you did with Jordan Peterson. Like work a.
I mean, haven't we just said we're
Yeah,
the
yeah.
intersection where you live? Yeah.
Listen, yeah.
Can't go too much closer than that.
Yeah.
I won't do it, but yeah, it's interesting to know where you live now.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
It's
it's really interesting to
It
know
is
your
interesting.
address and
Yeah. Because you can just come here whenever you want.
Yeah. Like I know when you're out and
Oh, you're
you're
always
not
welcome.
here too. So
Yeah.
True, because I always go over my schedule on the pod.
yeah.
I do
Yeah.
like what's on the agenda for this week.
Yeah.
This is when I'll be out of town.
That's one of our most popular segments, I think,
Yeah.
is
Alex's
when
agenda.
Alex's
The
agenda.
Alex
Yeah.
agenda.
Yeah.
I'm
well,
excited for Ted though.
Yeah,
That's
I
really
think
exciting.
it'll be. I mean, it's gonna be funny at least. Like those movies.
It'll be better than Hustler and Color Money.
Yeah, you
It'll be better
think
than
so?
Dune.
You think so? Well, when we do franchises that I'm like don't really mean anything to me or that I don't care about or whatever, like to be honest, this one, right? I don't care about it, but these two movies are going to go down very easy. They're going to be super easy to watch. Probably way less suffering than like most of the Jurassic Park World franchise. Right?
Yeah, unfortunate to say, but yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, join us next week for Ted, the movie Ted, which I think I saw in the theater.
You must have. It was a sweep of a film.
Yeah. Only released in theaters. Yeah.
Bring your bong.
Yeah, I will actually start doing drugs again for Ted. Yeah, that'll be the thing to do, you know?
Yeah.
Sacrifice your sobriety for Seth MacFarlane.
For Seth doing the Peter Griffin voice as a bear, right? It's just the same voice.
No, it's slightly different.
It's like less hard.
Yeah.
Accent.
Lois. Oh, and Mark Wahlberg. I didn't even think about that.
Oh, yeah.
This is the
Mila
first time
Kunis.
we've talked about Mark Wahlberg before?
Yeah, he was in one of the Paranormal Activity films.
That's right.
What?
Yeah. There's a Boston. So after they were like, oh, like we did a different one. You know, this one takes place. This one's like a group of like young Latino characters in L.A.
They did a Southie one.
Yeah, and then they do one in Southie. Yeah, where he's like, you fucking go south, fuck your mother. Hey, fuck, tell your fucking mother, or whatever. I really don't know.
Yeah,
I'm tapped out.
Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Eric Voss, and this is a breakdown of Dune Part 2, Denis Villeneuve's 2024 follow-up to his excellent 2021 Part 1, and an adaptation of the second half of Frank Herbert's 1965 sci-fi novel. This film is a true masterpiece with immersive world-building, explosive action, fierce performances, and an unapologetic examination of false messiah mythology that these types of stories typically don't bother challenging.
Ghost smoke.